And welcome everybody to the Broken Wing Le Mans Series Season 1 finale, Round 5 here at Portimao, the Algarve International Circuit, as some might call it, but it's Portimao to me. Uh, I'm in the booth right now, and with me, as always, it's been since Round 0, is Garreth Hamm. Garreth, how
Hey,
you
how's it
doing?
going, Jason?
Pretty
Good.
good. And we're just getting settled here with 5 minutes 45 seconds to go in practice. We're going to qualifying, which is 10 minutes of GT3s and then 10 minutes of the LMP2s. A little bit of light load on the multi-class front as a lot of teams. Jesus, I forgot to change that. Thank you for whoever just reminded me to do that. Change my audio settings. That was Trey
Trey.
Mistak. Yeah, thank you, Trey. Um, yeah, well, first things first, couple drivers, it's an endurance race, and registering their teammates without registering their drivers for some of these teams has been an issue throughout the series, and it is an issue again. One team forgot to register their second driver, and so now they'll be doing a dolo on this one. And others unable to make it entirely, or one can make it and they've already ran their solo dolo because they could have made it, but not registered correctly on another one and had a solo dolo of previous matchup. So
We're
not
not judging here, but beans. Yeah, it looks like, with that being said, we do seem like we have a little bit of a lighter grid. Looks like there's a good chunk of just a bunch of people just with conflicting schedules and stuff that is going on in the real world. So we might have a little bit of a lighter grid today, which is A-okay. We still do have a bunch of people out on the grid today, so very excited for everyone to be here and partake in this. I can't believe this is already the season finale, to be honest. I mean, granted, this is every other week, but it's crazy to see that we're already here with the end of season 1.
Yeah, especially since we go one race every 2 weeks. Or yeah, so every other Tuesday it seems. It's kind of surprising, especially since we got through round 1. And I think it was round 0 starting us out in round 1. We had over 48 individual teams. It's unfortunate that we've dropped back a little bit in comparison, almost half, but I think we would still have a little bit more than half if some of these drivers could understand how to register their teams properly. And those mistakes should be rectified going forward in the next season.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and especially with some of the lighter, I mean, we had such a big beefy grid right at the beginning, and it is to be expected that some people will drop off just because it is not their kind of cup of tea once they get going into it. But hey, that's just we want to have people come out, try this out, see if it's a thing for them. Sometimes it's not, and that's still okay because this is totally different than any kind of officials or anything like that with it being an endurance series.
Yeah, and then honestly, I don't see why there was such maybe an issue for people that weren't liking it, because it is just a straight up Le Mans series, or the IMSA series, a multi-class GT3s and LMP2s. Great source for both of these cars. I know people are having struggles with the new updates to the LMP2, but I mean, we started a preseason at Watkins. That was fun. It wasn't too chaotic. I think Sebring was chaotic because we didn't really have a full grasp of the safety car procedural rules. But once we got to Hockenheim, it seemed to be all right with one safety car issue. But after that, it was I would think it was pretty good. Road America was great. Long Beach was great. Can't imagine things are going to be that much different here at Portimao. It's a wide track, wide use of the track. There's going to be a lot of runoff for people to make their moves or save themselves from the moves they make, especially if they have to pass somebody through some of these sweeping sections.
Yeah, that was a really hard thing. I believe it was with Sebring. It was like the day before it came out with the new tire update for the LMP2s, and that just threw a wrench into everyone's kind of just what they were trying to do for their loadouts of just the car configuration, and then just learning and understanding the tires now. And that's been a big change throughout. And I mean, we're seeing these drivers that are really starting to figure out the update now, and really get a better grasp at just getting that time under their feet, just being able to just put it in practice time, and
Mm-hmm.
just understand it. Because I mean, just at the beginning, that was rough, steeper, and it was just rough for everyone. It was just completely new and no time to practice, and it was just all right, let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, it is also just an endurance race, so practicing a little bit of caution on the first lap, you think people would also try to understand that it is a endurance and not a sprint, and you shouldn't be putting your entire team on the line on the first lap, let alone the first corner or the second corner for that example. No shade at anybody in the league here. It's just it's a matter of fact when we keep seeing the same type of incidents occurring on turn one, even on the restarts. Let's go for it before, or just right there. Let's see. Christopher Chitterling just doing a little bit of burnout before we have 14 seconds to qualifying starts. Just going back right at the chat, is Dan racing tonight? Who is this Dan and what do you want from him? There's no Dans in the league. I honestly didn't even catch the joke the first time around. That's how far behind the ball I am, Garreth. And as far as my take on chicken sandwiches,
Oh boy, we leave that in the Xfinity chat.
Dan. Oh yeah. That was Justin's thing. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah, now when I was like, I read half of it, or I think I did read all the whole thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop looking at anything that
we
Justin says, reading or looking, just blindly ignoring him.
we have a lot of jokesters in the league, but that keeps it fun. Just gotta keep an eye on it though, because they'll catch you off guard.
Absolutely, it's something else. Oof. That is Daniel Heiberger of Hyperion Racing 6 or 7, I should say 7. Again, it's been a couple weeks. We're gonna have to get used to these Roman numerals all over again. It's like It's like being in class. The GT3s are out, and this isn't our one in first right now. That would be Jesse Canales and the Barbecue Boys. But note to mention here on this Hyperion Racing team is that they are in P1 with a strong stance to take the GT3 Pro championship here after this round. They've won every race. And that said, if they somehow weren't able to capitalize on this race fully in its entirety and were last, that could put 212 Racing in the 212 car in P1. Or Hyperion Racing 9, which is in third place, just 3 points shy of 212 Racing. So it's still everything up for grabs here in the GT3 class. And this is we're just talking about food now. This isn't the Xfinity series, guys. Food is reserved for us in ovals, mindlessly turning left.
One of the things to keep in mind that while we're doing quali right now is that the GT3s are going to be starting off, as you can see, with the quali. They're going to get the first 10 minutes for qualifying, and then after the 10 minutes, the LMP2s will get out on track while the GT3s go and retire in the pit lane, just to keep things clean and as organized as possible with this multi-class series.
Absolutely. Ain't nothing mindless about raising hell and praising Dale. Yeah, you're right. Jessica Canales out front here for the Barbecue Boys. They are in P9 in the GT3 Pro class. The V-Ray get out of my way in the GT3 Gentleman's Cup. Things are changing for the next season in the series in total. It looks like, just based on what I'm seeing here, the V-Ray, get him out of my way, is going to just take the GT3 Gentleman's Cup championship there. There is zero competition. There was one team that fought after the second round, and that was on the fourth round. And that's pretty much it. And that's why I think we're changing it so that the split in the GT3 class is going to be much more mixed. It's not going to be just GT3 Pros. If there's a GT3 AM, that's going to split them up into a new category, or split the category so it's not just all pros, P1 through 14. It's going to be 7 and 7 more likely, depending on how people register together.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. I know I've been hearing whispers of some of the changes. I'll be curious to see what all gets confirmed and published, possibly next week. I'm not too sure. But obviously, before the next season starts, there'll be announcements going on about season changes, what's going on, because they, as what we always like to do, is fill out a form and just kind of provide feedback for us, and especially since this is a new series for us, and just kind of seeing how people are feeling and what's going on. So they'll be curious to see all the different updates and changes that happen, especially seeing the track list as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I spoke too soon. Looks like East Coast Storm Racers GT3 is out here, and they are part of the AM class GT3. So V-Ray can get on away, and they're in 5th right now, and they have a little bit of competition. This team has not set a time on the board, but when they do, if it's valid, could be quicker, could be slower. We don't know just yet. And Christopher Chitterling here in the Little Lugnuts is out there in the pit lane. Is there something amiss here? Did he have a qualifying ban? Is that why he's goofing off in the pit lane?
I don't remember.
This would be an interesting one to determine. You can see who P1 through 5. The rest have not set qualifying times just yet. But he is fully goofing.
Looks like Arcadian Motorsports will be doing a qualifying ban.
I mean, there are some penalty points against Christopher Chitterling's team. I mean, now we have we have an LMP2 class driver of the Dissidents. More than likely the Dissidents of it. No, I mean, I think it is. Yeah. It is well. Cooper McCoy just throwing up those donuts in the pit lane with another driver. I mean, we could watch qualifying, but we already know who's in P1 right now. This has not changed. 212 Racing crosses the line, goes quicker, but still not faster than P1. Luke A. Wallace here in Hyperion Racing 9 is in 3rd, with 499 Racing's 498 car in 4th. V-Ray, get out of my way, no change there. Jamie Jen did make a valid lap there with the 49.3, puts them in 6th. Little Lucknuts here is still in the pit lane. Barbecue Boys of Jessica Nales has not put a valid lap out there on track, and that is because they are no recorded off tracks from the Barbecue Boys, so I'm not sure what's going on here. They have only one more attempt after this one to make a valid lap stick.
I got about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left for these guys to put in their lap times, and then if they cross the finish line before the time runs out, they'll be able to complete that lap. And then it'll be on to the LMP2s.
I gotta imagine they have a qualifying ban. Does anyone in the chat know if this is true? I mean, I did see they had some penalty points against them, but we don't record the penalty stuff in the results and standings. Maybe that's something that will come up in the next season. We will be able to determine whether or not people are serving some bans.
Maybe they're just trying to ask for a ban for the start of next season.
Falling a last to second. Well, I gave high praise to Christopher Chitterling, and look at that. Jesse Canales goes to 5th, putting East Coast Storm Racers down into 7th. And yikes, that was a big jump there. Appearing Racing still going for it. B-Ray, get out of my way, is going to be the first driver to cross the line. And actually has another attempt to go, if he shall do so. Thomas Smith. Is he still goofing off there? Yeah, he is. He's still goofing off. This is a flexing scenario here. They go across the line. Derek Heiberger stays first, but Luke A. Wallace, what can he do here? Does he improve? It's going to be a no. He's going again, though.
One of the things I was noticing, especially with this track, is especially with all the turns that's on it. I mean, we do have a few good chunk long straightaways, but the timings between the two classes are relatively pretty close. They're probably, I think I was trying. I mean, depends on the driver of each class, but I mean, we're only talking less than 10 seconds, I believe.
Yep, about 7, 8 seconds.
Between each other. So it should be relatively pretty close grouped up grid. I mean, depending on accidents and stuff, but it's going to take them just a little bit longer to try and run into traffic. But it will inevitably happen due to pit stops, and that this is endurance series. We got 2 hours of race time. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out, and especially with all the turns and stuff, trying to find those angles and opportunities to pass each other. It'll be pretty interesting to see, and like what you were saying earlier, is that there's at least a lot of room on this track that you can make moves. You just got to be strategic about it and making sure everyone's being predictable and make it happen, make it clean.
And with that said, we're gonna get our one of 3 drivers still out there on track in the GT3s. Is Derek Heiberger might extend his lead slightly, but it's not much of anything. I don't know if he improved on that one, but did Luke A. Wallace improve? No, he did not. So now we have East Coast Storm Racers, the Jaming Jen, out there, and he is got just the penultimate corner to go. Gonna see if this is it. Oh, he goes right into the pit lane. All right. Say no more. Ryan Otis of Cone Killer Racing is going to take us to a hot lap here at Portimao. And Justin, I am not going to reiterate or interact with your words there. So the booth is who it is. Your commentators, Garreth Hamm, and me, Jason. I don't like saying my name though. It's too much. It's like presenting yourself in the third person.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It is weird.
It's like when you stand up in front of a group and like you have to say, "Oh yeah, this is what I am." And it's like, no, I don't. Can we skip this, please?
Yeah. Being teams and being team members are strictly forbidden from being in the commentators booth.
Ooh.
Yeah. After the last complaint of you speaking past your interview time, the admin said, never again. We won't allow it.
Jason's just over in his corner, just throwing the band hammer around.
No one has a penis. All right. 499 Racing in the LMP2 class is the P1 in the total here. They have a lot more a lot less to lose technically on their drop week. Their drop week was actually 172 points. So Ryan Otis of Cone Killer Racing puts in P1 for provisionally. Cone Killer Racing, they're going to lose 326 points on their drop week. They're roughly 40 points difference in the total. If anyone can understand what a drop week feels like, that is Jacob Simmons. And that is effectively going to hurt 499 Racing's, actually Cone Killer Racing's chances more than anything. They are second in the championship for the LMP2 GT Pro, or sorry, LMP2 Pro class. That is going to be a tough one. Essentially, Cone Killer Racing have to lose out by 40 points in comparison to their rival at this track for them to win this. 499 Racing has to have that bad of they just have to finish within a couple positions to secure the championship. They don't even have to win. They could win. That's going to do it better, but
What's interesting is, while I was looking at the standings, is that it looks like at least 3/4 of the teams have used their solo dolos. Quite a few of those still haven't, which is great to see. I mean, that's just rough just trying to do a solo dolo on one of these. I mean, it's totally doable, and it's typically what you see with stints for, I mean, we just got done with the more official Bathurst 12-hour, and that's what typical stints are. But still, I mean, when you hop into this and just go for 2 hours, I mean, it wears on you a little bit, that's for sure.
absolutely. That said, we only have one other team on the LMP2 class that has not set a time on the board, and that is going to be Landon Loy. And he's pretty quick, so we should see something out of him shortly. Nobody had some off tracks, which is kind of surprising. Is that Eric Koonsman? Maybe it's Fire Dog. I can tell. Arcadian Motorsports is serving a qualifying ban, as well as isn't there one other team serving a qualifying ban?
Oh gosh,
I think it's a Hyperion Racing team, right?
the Hyperion 6, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
Okay, yeah.
Echelon was at least the two that I saw when I was quickly looking through.
Echelon? No, I don't think they're here for this one. I don't know if they're not. Yeah.
Ooh,
Gosh, Justin in with the memeiest of memes here. Nope, no time set on the board yet for Landon Loy and Pusher to Punch Racing Sativa. Several teams have not, 6 teams have not set times on the board, either from qualifying bans or just not ready yet for the race, maybe. Dissidents in P8 at the moment, and there's across the line. No change on that lap. 499 Racing, it's the big one to talk about here. They are first in the championship, and they have the least amount to lose after the drop week is submitted. That being said, they just have to finish ahead or close to Cone Killer Racing to secure that championship. That Elliott guy is not qualifying. Yeah, that's true. Elliott A. Burton of Draft Punk Gold. That said, Draft Punk Silver isn't here. They can't make it due to a scheduling conflict, as Garreth has mentioned. Four Loco Racing is here. They're in 8th. Anchor Racing and Drunk Skunk Racing. We have Drunk Skunk Racing, and they're in 7th. Jeff Lubitsch is part of that team. Car number 69. Nice. And Inca Salsa Racing Margarita is not here as well. So it's just going to come down to 2 teams. Four Loco and Drunk... ooh. I say that. Is Inca Salsa Racing here? Yes, it is. They are. Craig Brick is in P1, and Four Loco Racing is in P3. And based on their points, it's a 102-point difference between those two teams, P1 and 3. And the drop week is going to affect Inca Salsa Racing more than Four Loco Racing. So if Four Loco Racing can get ahead of Inca Salsa Racing, that might secure them the championship. I think they have to be 102 points ahead of them, wherever that puts them in the lineup.
Yeah, that's a steep curve right there.
It really is. While Osakan, though, great underdog racing of Trevor Bonesteel put it into second. This is the driver that did a solo dolo last race and won Long Beach. And, you know, sometimes you don't win. Like when he went through that corner. Oh my god.
It's one of those days that you just don't pay attention to chat at all.
Yeah, I just don't know how. Yeah, that's Rodrigo with that emoji is it's a lot to process.
If Rodrigo could have the pufferfish emoji, I'm sure he would use it.
Brendan Renfro of Appalachian GT3 Punters in 6th position does not improve his time. That's all said and done. Ryan Oates of Cone Killer Racing with a 134.9. Fastest overall, but 499 Racing's just behind. It's 16 drivers that have in teams that have completed qualifying, with 6 more that have not. Just here to help with the safety car. Well, that's interesting. Looks like the safety car generator's on, and it's hopefully goes well.
Oh, and since we're talking about the safety car, I'll give a quick rundown of that. So we will be using an in-house safety car generator for this race. The safety car generator will automatically throw a safety car if any of the several variables are met. Those variables include 2 cars stopped on the track and or 4 cars off the track at the same time. There's maximum of 3 safety cars per race and is only possible from the start of the race to an hour 30 into the race. It worked out really well last time of the admins doing manual waiver rounds. Yeah. So that was really cool to see. And hopefully a safety car doesn't get thrown, but if it does get thrown, hopefully that'll be able to happen again.
Yeah. Well said. I think it's gonna get thrown.
Oh, probably. I mean, with multi-class racing, I mean, and especially lap 1, always with cold tires and stuff, and people just have all that adrenaline and just want to get on the road and just start racing. I mean, things happen. It's okay. But obviously we try and not use it, but we do have it for a reason.
Yeah, and with that said, just a quick and we are back. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And as said before, this is the Broken Wheel Le Mans Series Season 1 finale, Round 5 at Portimao. It's our endurance racing with the LMP2s and GT3 class contenders in this multi-class event, which has been pretty cool. We've had 6 total rounds, technically, because we did have a round 0. And we are almost ready to go, as these drivers are going to take a full outlap, it looks like, to start us off. And just with that said, I'm here. I'm always here. Most of these, or actually all of these, but in the commentating booth with me is Garreth Hamm. Welcome, Garreth.
Hey. Looks like with the full course just drive around. That is to help kind of create some gap between the LMP2s and the GT3 drivers, just to help start off the race so that not everyone's all bunched up together. So they'll create a little bit of space for each other. So if you start seeing those two classes start separating from each other, that's what's going on there.
I mean, they could have started on the backstretch, right? I don't know if that's possible, but backstretch is literally still in Sector 1, but it's still something.
All right. No, that's a great question. I actually have no idea when you are going through the controls on setting these up of what increments you can actually set that up at.
Generally, it's track specific. They either have it at the end of your, like, I think at the end on Sector 3 before that curve, and then it just wraps around. Usually God, these guys are just gonna be menacing in the chat. I can already tell.
Oh yeah.
Full formation laps is what people want. All right. And also a strong reminder that there is very little evidence that suggests scrubbing your tires like this actually creates and generates heat based on iRacing's model. If this was ACC, I would say, yeah, go ahead. You know, do your little dance. But here, it just makes you look like a tryhard.
It's fun. It gets you moving. Gets the blood flowing. It's like doing jumping jacks before doing anything physical. That's how I take it as.
Hey, say no more. All these drivers are still with their class. They are in P19 and 21 as they assembled here, or 11 and 12 in their own class. That's actually kind of funny how that works out. But we still got a couple to go. I'll show the grid as it is. You know who P1 through 5 is? Brandon Renfro in 6, Cooper McCoy in 7, Blake Patterson 8, followed by Peter Petrucci in 9th, and Greg Conaway in 11th, because Elliot Burton's not actually here and Drap on Gold. And then 12, technically 11, is Arcadian Motorsports of William Paisley. That said, going over to our P1 through 5, you can see there in P6 is Thomas Smith, Jamie Jen in 7, and Gio Gonzalez in 8, Matt Benson 9, and Charles Weed in 10. And it looks like Matt Benson is also not. Gio Gonzalez and Matt Benson are also not in the on the grid with us, so not sure what that's about. They Valhalla Motorsports registered, so did SRTE Orange. That is perplexing.
Maybe they're just spectating. Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe they are just spectating, but yeah. Thanks, Dad Mode 45. Appreciate that.
I hope that's Dylan.
Dill Pickle Maroney.
Mm-hmm.
Pickles are gross.
That they are.
This is going to be a pretty interesting fight at the top 3. From what we can see, one team has won all these, almost all these races. 499 Racing, Cone Killer Racing's won one of them themselves, and so is Great Underdog Racing. And the 499 Racing and Cone Killer Racing are separated on track, but we can't really see how they're separated because they're using the same livery.
And off we go. Yeah, it's always fun and complicated when you have teams that are using the same livery, because I'm always much more of a visual person who can spot out liveries and know who's driving what.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
And spin right there.
Our spin seems to be solid. We have P1 going through over P2. And Willie Brennan, Hyperion Racing 9, getting the upper hand in taking P2 already, as Jesse Canales is in 5th, trying to take 4th. And Tyler 49 Racing of Christopher Horton. He's just gotten by. He's going pretty defensive, but dive down the inside. I think Jesse Canales is going to be able to get that on the exit, though. Nope, doesn't look like it just yet. And 499 Racing stays ahead. Plans that pretty well. Kylo Kokeko was trying to fight back here, but was unable to make anything happen here. Going over further, we have a bit of a mix-up here, as Blake Patterson must have spun, I think. We'll get a look back at that in a second. But the rundown so far is the GT3 classes still kept up together. This is a little bit opposite of what we've seen, Garreth. Usually it's the GT3 class that has kind of mixed themselves, or kind of spread themselves apart significantly, but we can see already on the track map and what's happening in this race is these drivers are actually still pretty close in the GT3 class, and in the LMP2 class they're spreading apart slightly.
Yeah, it's really interesting, great to see. And I mean, Alex Caruso of Hyperion 7, I mean, he just kind of went out like a rocket ship, especially on that straight, and just got himself a nice lead. I mean, he's already up almost 2 seconds already on the next driver, which is crazy for the first lap. But yeah, the rest of the GT3 drivers are staying pretty well grouped up together right now.
Ooh. And Charles Whedon spun. His teammate cursed those tires when he was doing all those spins in the pit lane.
I was thinking the same thing. Tires weren't done spinning around like that.
Yeah, maybe they're still hot. This different set there, but William Paisley already up 4 positions. Greg Conway in 9th. A little further back, about 3 seconds, is up 2 positions. And Peter Petrucci of 4 Local Racing just ahead. And oof, went out very wide there. And another position gain for William Paisley. Go over to Barbecue Boys. The Jesse Canales is going to make a move down the inside line here on Christopher Horton of 499 Racing 498 car. It's the last time we get to see that anime waifu livery from the Dr. Pepper anime chick.
At least for this season. They could always bring it back for next season.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
Jason, sometimes with you.
Yeah. Let's go back over to Cooper McCoy here, a little bit further back. Is he got a move down here on Craig Brick of Inca Salsa Racing. And where does he get him? Right into that slow braking zone after that fast right-hander. Perfectly done. Executed well. Back over to some of the crashes here. Blake Patterson spun a little bit. Not really a crash, so to speak. And this is the one we probably already saw, but let's take a look at it. A little bit of spin. And Jamie Zhen, also a little spin of his own. Now, Great Underdog Racing, is this the one that we saw earlier? And I think everyone else just took avoiding action. Going off
nothing too crazy yet.
And their start was pretty well in hand. Now back onto the live stream here. The Cooper swoop. Oh God. Trevor Bonesteel down 8 positions. Trying to recover this race.
Yeah. that's hard, and especially hopefully they can battle their way back up to where they were. I mean, they're currently sitting fourth in the standings right now for the overall series.
And they just made up a spot against Hyperion Racing 6 of Greg Conaway. Now only 7 positions down. Back over to Jesse Canales, the Barbecue Boys. Can he make a move here? I think he's as close as Christopher Horton was when he made that move on him in that same corner. But they share similar pace. It's even 3/10 faster on the last lap.
Starting to see it, both classes really starting to spread out now.
Oh yeah, big change is coming, and look at that. Jessica Canales is going to keep that on the inside line of Christopher Horton, which makes him have to use a bit of furthermore track here. It's going to get the inside line though again. Keeps it ahead. A little bit of a wiggle on the exit. That's not going to help his chances on a good exit here.
And especially when you want a really solid exit for that long straight, you want trying to capitalize that as best as possible.
Whoa! And Craig Carroll's off, but not out of the fight. He's going to lose a couple positions there as he jumps back on board. William Paisley might be able to make recover a position here, or gain a position. He's lost anything yet.
Yeah, he's becoming a little bit of a powerhouse this race and just being able to get these positions just left and right now.
Yeah, William Paisley's really he's a strong driver. Quake as well. He's usually fighting at the higher end of the pack. He is kind of right now. He's in 7th. He might go to 6th here. So he'll take this inside line to turn 1. He flew past. And can Craig Carroll respond? Don't think it's...
Yeah, but they're staying close, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's over just yet, but maybe not this second. I think that's kind of said and done there, but... Out there again, Jesse Canales... last lap, if that's to be correct, after they cross the line there, he's actually down a couple tenths, almost 2 tenths. He is awfully close and trying to find the margin. I think he just needs to get a really good exit, maximize it on one of these straights. Either the front straight or the back straight, but he looks to be going to the inside line. I don't think that's in hand there.
Going that tight on the corner, I mean, it's hard to get the power down to be able to really take advantage of that exit.
Curbing with a K. Down the inside line. And you know, this is where Jesse Canales is kind of shining. In Sector 3, he's able to get really close to Christopher Horton here, but he's just not able to maximize an exit, which is what he needs. As you said, Garreth, you know, really tight entry is not going to produce a fast exit there. It's a tight entry if you're trying to defend or dive down the inside of a car, but I mean, he was already past the apex there when he was taking that corner.
What's interesting to see, especially with this track with the grid that we have with these guys, is that typically we have a lot more. Ooh, possible low bump there. That we get to see a lot more action with the LMP2 guys being close, bunched up with racing. But it's kind of role reversed with this race with the GT3s doing it, and the LMP2 guys are just all super spread apart right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a for some of these drivers, it's going to be a race. You know, like just like a stroll in the park almost. Is nothing too exciting for them happening. Some drivers, not so much. They have similar pace. I guess we'll see what changes on the driver swap, which drivers are able to claw back some time, whether or not they're saving their driver swap for their fastest driver remains to be seen.
Yeah, that, and I mean, any field strategies that they might have as well. I'll be curious to see what really starts taking place, especially towards the end of the race, and how things really start shaking out.
Yeah. That said, we also have the GT3 3 class finally being passed here. That's P1 and 2 getting past 7 and 8, or 8. I think it's 8 and 9. Matt Benson is actually out there, though. Holy crap. He is out there. He's down fully on both. Maybe he just did an actual fully. Is this it? Is this the dive? Could be done. Christopher Horton and Jessica Nolles have been going back, battling back to back, lap after lap. On lap 9, he finally makes the move and it sticks, and he's ahead. And he's half a second ahead, so that's going to be more than enough maybe to break the toe and find more out of this.
Yeah, good for him for pulling that off, and especially doing it as cleanly as he did. I mean, that was just fantastic driving.
Extremely well done as well. We'll hop over to the Brandon Renfro of Appalachian G3 Hunters. Got Craig Brick in their sights. And all this curb talk is I guess it is curb with a C. Curb your enthusiasm. But we're not talking about, I don't know. Garreth, where do you stand on this? Do we go with the British racing, motor racing language, or do we use American language when it comes to some of the word choices that we have?
Oh, I mean, that's an interesting subject. I mean, it's the same thing with like between Fahrenheit and Celsius, what do you want to go off of? I feel like a little bit of that's just preference. I should say absolutely should be preference, but I mean, between imperial and metric, I mean, I more prefer imperial just because I'm used to it, but metric does make a lot more sense. Just with cars and stuff in general, and I mean, personally, working on cars, let's just keep everything metric. It's so much easier. But that's my personal touch.
Look at that. It is easier to use metric because when you're converting, you only have to shift the 0 one more place, and you've gone up or down in conversions. Isn't that neat?
I know. And
how many feet to a yard? Yard to a mile? Mile to what do we go with past a mile? Isn't it like they switch to kilometers? But like it's not kilometers. What's after a mile? And they're like, oh, that it just keeps saying more miles. I mean, there's too much.
I don't know,
It's
to
too
be
many
honest.
conversions.
Yeah.
The irony is we use the metric system in most professions, just not in our education. Actually, that's not true either, because science uses it that way. In all science classes, they use metric, so checkmate, imperialists.
And for any car guys out there that would understand, all hell and praise the 10 mil.
So one thing to be noted in this race right now is we have 4, 5, and 6 are relatively close together. Their pace is extremely similar. They're doing 137.5, 137.3, and a 137. Oh, 1 and a 130. That was P3, Cooper McCoy, but he's further up by a couple seconds. But 4, 5, and 6, they are within striking distance of each other right now. Inca Salsa Racing, Craig's Brick, is in the LMP2 Gentleman's Cup and is in P1. Four Loco Racing, and this was the I guess one of those upsetters if it was going to happen, is Four Loco Racing would need to finish ahead of Inca Salsa Racing, but they also need to finish ahead of them by roughly 200 points. That does not look, or 102 points, I should say. That is not looking like it's going to happen. They are in last place in the LMP2 class right now, and Inca Salsa is in 4th. And like I said, this group is getting ever so close to each other as they pass Thomas Smith of V-Ray. Get out of my way. So we'll be able to check in on this battle shortly. Also, pointing out here, Jamie Jen is in 19th. He's in the pit lane. He's been in the pit for over 3 minutes. Thomas Smith is about to lap him, and that is going to be position secured more than likely for this team to get that LMP2, or sorry, the GT3's Gentleman's Cup out of the way, said and done. Not that them finishing ahead would have made any difference. It's just more formality at this point. You know, I was going to say, Garreth, has another grouping in the GT3, the LMP2 class. 8, 9, and 10 are actually very close, and they're catching back up. Trevor Bonesteel had that little bit of a spin. He's catching up to this pack that he has previously passed at one point. Greg Conaway in 9th, catching Blake Patterson of Drunken Skunk Racing, who's in 8th. And that other grouping is a little bit further up. And based on Paisley's view, you can see it, both of them in his sights.
Absolutely. And it seems like a lot of these LMP2, I mean, both classes, I mean, it seems like with the traffic and stuff that people are getting around just fine right now.
Oh, what the?
I might have spoke too soon.
Ooh. Looks like the punters became the puntees. Puntee. And, yeah. So they're going through that left-hander. William Paisley, nicked into Brandon Renfro of the Appalachian GT3 Punters.
Yeah, he was just doing the GT3 guys solid just because of his name, I feel like.
God. Guys in chat need to calm down. Comate. All right. I'm not gonna be reading any more comments. Just just gonna get straight to the action.
I
Trevor,
told you to stop.
I didn't read anything. I've just been watching this race. Trevor Bonesteel making a move here on Greg Conway, perfectly nailed and executed on the inside line there of Hyperion Racing 6. I believe Hyperion Racing 6 is Eddie Layton's team, right? So they have another driver in that car, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's Matt Brewer, Eddie Layton, and Greg Conway. So yeah, there's Matt Brewer will probably be joining this driver. And taking the penalty. Oh, so there's a solo dolo and taking the penalty. What the? It's just a disqualification. It's almost like it's not worth it to race. But, I mean, if you love racing, then this is fun anyway for you. And, Brandon Renfro, let's just pull this back slightly. Oh, it's not actually done yet. Looked like he was going to lose his position here to William Paisley, and he's going to follow him alongside. And Greg Carroll is getting a part of this action. He's in 7th position. It's unfortunate. A 3-man team, and nobody can show up for it except one person. Garreth, if you left me here alone, I would probably be talking about the corners right now. I mean, we're getting into a corner that is not actually named at all, so I would just name this the incident corner, now being referred to based on the Punty's incident. Pass, by the way.
Yeah, that one needs a name.
The the chicken sandwich corner. I don't think we should name it that. That sounds like a terrible idea. Sog Races was the corner before after that, and then Gulp, and penultimate corner, you name it Gulp. This is what's wrong with the Portuguese. No flair for a good track name or a corner name. And, Craig looked to be pretty strong on this. I don't know if you see that, but his last lap was 138.1. Faster than Brandon Renfro and William Paisley. See him.
Yeah, I expect him to, exactly, just push and just get up a few spots. I mean, he seems to be extremely confident on this track. Pushing hard. It was just that little accidental spin off that happened that set him back, but he's working hard on regaining those positions.
Absolutely. And he's also been one of those drivers that I guess would serve as an example that continual practice and dedication to being here and being in these races, not only in this class, but in the GT3 class, getting way quicker as time progresses. I remember being in Formula 3 races with Craig and being in battles with him. And we have a little bit of an incident here. We'll pull back to what is happening here. Trevor Bonesteel. Oof. Collects Blake Patterson there. Go through. Peter Petrucci is ahead right now? Yeah, he got ahead. Nope, didn't get ahead. Somebody got ahead during that one. Oh, that was Craig Conway. I'm going to pull this back slightly because now I'm kind of curious. They get through, and look at, there's Craig Conway also there, but he goes for a sweeping left, and they just come together. That's kind of bizarre. Just pulling it back. Anybody in the comments, any comment to make out on this, please do. Ooh. Garreth?
Yeah, that's tricky right there. And the in the blue car, that was Trevor Bonesteel.
Yeah, that was Trevor Bonesteel in that car.
And that guy's having a rough race today.
Too late of a move. Can we see the incident again? P2's fault there? I mean, neither one of them were in P2. Are you saying like down P2's fault there? Still got a good battle on our hands here. Brandon Renfro, the GT3 Punters, has William Paisley decides for P5 here. 5 and 6 battling with Craig Carroll in 7th. Black P2 is innocent. Colin looked at them wrong. What the? All right.
What's happened there?
We gotta. Oh, he locked up.
Yeah.
Goes for the move. Locks up. He's turning in. I think that one is pretty standard there. An incident. Puts Brandon Renfro a little bit further back now. 5 and 6 are still pretty close. And that is Craig Carroll, who actually got by. Craig Carroll got by. That's what I'm talking about here. Going over to Craig Carroll. That little incident between the two of them. We take those Carroll up into 5th. And has the pace to stay ahead. I'll say that. I don't know what I was doing there. William Paisley's still 6/10 off. And Garreth, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying before those accidents happened, I mean, with Craig Carroll improving, I mean, that guy, like you were saying, has just improving like a madman. And one of the other notable drivers that I can think that comes to mind, just been improving like rapidly, has been Dylan Maroney, which sadly he's not part of this race right now. But yeah, just watching him in like the GT3 races, I think he placed 5th or 6th on Sunday, which was awesome for him.
Did he? Yes, maybe. I mean, I watch a lot of these, so
I know they start blending together. But I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, there's been a handful of drivers that have been just, seems like the last few months they've been just improving like crazy. It's awesome to see. And that's the whole point of doing this, and just being part of the league, is just racing with each other, and talking to each other, and stepping your game up.
you're absolutely right. And I didn't finish my thought there on Craig Carroll, but yeah, it's just he is the league owner, one of the two, and you know, going back to when he was in the AM class, kind of at the back of the pack in Formula 3, I remember I was racing him and remembering we had the same pace. I mean, like, I never really improved that much because I don't practice or race as much as he does, ever. But in the GT3 class, I'm never that strong. I'm always like 3 seconds off, but he's improved to be in the Pro-Ams, and arguably he's in that top 15 in qualifying from time to time. I guess just to say another thing is that we've had a couple, actually a lot of new entries into the league that have been talking about their times on the board, how quick they are, how slow they are. As we get this battle going side by side, and Craig Carroll stays with that defensive line, who knows if he's going to be able to hold on to this at the moment. No dive to the inside there for William Paisley. He goes wide, opens the door. Powers is down, and can he hold on to this position? It looks like he's just going to battle him again this next set of corners. Yeah.
Just trying to find a spot and just trying to figure out what little advantages that he can grab on.
Race for the lead is getting close. Yeah, Colin Arnold is 1.8 seconds off of Ryan Otis. And if anyone can tell you about the drop week scenario changes, it's going to be Jacob Simmons. And I think Gun Killer Racing is going to be on the unfortunate end here.
Yeah, those drop weeks can bite you. But I mean, the name of the game though is just racing fast and racing consistently.
Well, if I had to put it into perspective, even though 499 Racing might finish this in second, they are still going to be greatly ahead in the points when the drop week comes to effect. And here we are again. William Paisley's down along the inside line. Just from like last lap, it was Craig Carroll going for the defense. William Paisley goes through and takes P5. Craig Carroll.
And if I had to venture a guess, I think we should start seeing people start pitting in here shortly.
Nick, you have to look at the drop week. So 499 Racing had a race that was 172, and so that's going to be a drop points for them. They're ahead with 382 in race 1 and 3, and race 4 they were 330. So what's more or less essentially happening is the 326 race that was race 3 for Cone Killer Racing is going to be dropped. The remaining total of race 1, 3, 4, and 5 will be added up as long as they finish in first. It's still going to go to 499 Racing. The SDK would know. Oh my god, guys. Yeah, you guys plug that into an Excel spreadsheet on Google and connect it back to the SDK, and it somehow is all going to magically work. I mean, I'm sure it could theoretically, but there's no way you guys have that information. Let's look at our GT3 pack because we haven't seen them for a while. Nor would you, technically. Alex Caruso of Hyperion Racing 7 is leading a masterclass for the GT3 Pros. Having won every race, this team so far is going to be named champions for the GT3 Pro class. Hyperion Racing 9 is in third place in the standings, and right now they're in second in this race. Just behind them is 212 Racing of Tyler Kokeko in the 212 car, and they are second in the standings, third in this race. Jesse Canales' Barbecue Boys, no one really around him, 7.8 seconds to Tyler Kokeko and 4.5 to Christopher Horton. Just goes to show you that race pace there, Garreth, was indeed different. He's got a 4.1 second gap to Christopher Horton, who's in 5th place in the 499 Racing, a 498 car. And behind him, 12.6 seconds back, is Thomas Smith of V-Ray, Get Out of My Way. And even further back is a 10-second gap to Charles Whedon, the Little Lug Nuts, in 7th position. And Matt Benson, who's just ahead of our driver, Thomas Smith. Matt Benson's just ahead of P7. He's P8. He started a lap down, and he's in 8th position right now. And going back over here, we'll see Trevor Bonesteel, who just made a pass on the turn one. Oh, and trailing brakes. Thank you for the raid. It's over here. Brandon Renfro on Craig Carroll. The black LMP2 versus Prosciutto Punch Racing. Always pretty solid colors there. The blue and lime green. don't see this pass being done, though.
No, not yet, at least.
All right, we'll take a look again. Oh, it's right here. Briefly, he gets ahead of him, and then he retakes it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that was a crash that was from a while ago. Get back onto this. Back to live. Matt Benson on the outside there in the GT3 car as these two are going to be battling it out. Brandon Renfro has been pretty solid. Got a little flash of the lights, and maybe the GT3 didn't like what was going on with these two little LMP2s. Let's get some driver interviews. How far behind Cooper is? Cooper McCoy is in 3rd place. You can see him on the relative. He's 27 seconds, almost 28 seconds back to P1, if that helps you.
That's a gnarly spread.
Yeah, P1 in the LMP2 class is going into turn 1, and P3 is in turn 14, going into the penultimate corner as Craig Carroll continues to hold position over Brandon Renfro, and Brandon Renfro's fighting back here. This black LMP2 is ready to go.
Yeah, it's fun to see that we have a lot of racers that are just like in their own battles that have been battling for laps now, just going back and forth with
You're not wrong, Garreth. You're not wrong. It's been lap after lap. It looks like maybe hit a little bit too much curving there. Curving with a K. It'd be better if you said curbing with a K, because when you say Kerchow, also with a K, Kerb Chow, I think it just aesthetically would be better. This is our only battle on track right now, as everyone else is kind of spread out. We'll see what happens when people have to take their first pit stop. I believe it's going to be right around the lap 30 mark, maybe 29, 28.
Oh, really? Okay.
Possibly. I'm just sort of guessing based on some other data from the last couple races. Is anyone that you know of, Garreth, wanting to do a driver interview?
Oh, yeah, let me see.
Race. Uno, dos, tres. Racing. Where are they, actually? They're not even in this race.
No, they're not. All right, well, bring in Eddie Layton from... He is not able to race with us today, but he is one of our league admins and actually the gentleman that started this whole series for us. How are you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. What are you seeing out on the track today, and especially since you've been able to spectate for the first time?
Yeah, it's really the first time I'm able to watch the stream live. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you for all you're doing. So got some good racing, good incidents, but it's not to be too surprising on this track. Just some tight quarters and some hard passing zones, some curbs that'll catch you out. That's curbs with a C, by the way. That'll catch you out if you get out of position there. But it's a great, fun track. I'm really sad I'm missing the roller coaster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's been an interesting race for sure. Just now with everyone being so kind of spread apart from each other, but we've seen. I mean, we've had this almost nonstop really good battles just between a handful of groups that are they're just sticking close to each other. What are you kind of foreseeing with potential fuel strategies and just kind of long-term strategies for this race with this track?
Yeah, it's going to be tight on 2 stops if it goes green the whole way. The way this series is currently built for this current season, it's basically 40-minute stints, and might have to save a little bit of fuel there with the long straights to make that work. But yeah, it's going to be a close one for sure.
Awesome. And then, at least my final question is any others. Is there any kind of sneak peeks that you can kind of give us for next season of what potential changes we might see and things that you guys are kind of cooking on the back end?
I think we've had a pretty successful first season. We're going to be working on the schedule here over the next couple weeks. Waiting on iRacing to confirm the week that the IMSA Endurance will be on versus the Global Series. Since we follow IMSA Endurance, we're going to try and match up with those weeks. And from what I've seen on the schedule that was submitted, they may be flipping that from the odd to the even week, so we're going to be in a little bit of a holding pattern until that gets confirmed. Currently looking at keeping the same car classes for next season, but changing up the driver classification a little bit to try and balance the pro versus gentleman cups attendance, particularly in GT3. A lot of the B's and Rays have competed all season, but many of the rounds they were the only gentleman cups drivers. So I want to get them some competitions they have something to fight for. Although I'm sure they're loving getting the championship here. I just did want to take a chance to say thank you to everybody who did run this season. When I pitched this series to Craig and Noah, I wasn't sure how much participation we'd get with the team series on a weeknight. But it's been I think a great success and participation, and thank you to all the teams. And let's stop starting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it's been a real pleasure seeing the series go, and it's been a real honor being able to commentate it. And yeah, like what you're just saying, I mean, everyone's coming in, a lot of teams all coming in at the same time, at least with the LMP2s right now for their pit stop. Jason, do you have any questions for Eddie?
Yeah, I just had one final question. Eddie, was the finalization of the ruling that we were going to have closed qualifying, is that still up for debate with the drivers?
Well, I guess I won't never say never. It's not been 100% confirmed yet. We are looking at doing that just as a time savings measure for the weeknights. But until the season starts, we've not had a 100% confirmed rule set yet.
All right. Yeah, just curious to know whether or not that's going to be confirmed or not. So no confirmation just yet. Thanks, Eddie. We really do appreciate your time as well, and can't wait to see what happens. It looks like your teammate did inevitably stop. Are they just calling it based on knowing they're going to get DQ'd? They're just like, I raced a little bit, I'm going to call it now.
Yeah, Greg was running for some fun. Try not to get in anybody's way or cause any issues. He just wanted to get out there and enjoy the time. Knowing, we knew we weren't going to get points for night with, had a great job scheduling this race on a week that I was traveling for work and Matt traveling for work. So this is what it is. It's part of the danger of scheduling a weeknight series, right? So we'll survive. But big thank you to you guys for your efforts all season. I really do appreciate the publicity you give in the series and the great job you guys do commentating.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it, and enjoy watching the rest of the race.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you soon.
Yep. And with that said, Garreth, apparently the chat's really upset with us. They want our attention. This is unfair. I'm silencing them. I just said I wasn't going to read out some of the things in chat, especially if I see it. I'ma make it rain. It's going to be a whole lot of malarkey, if you want to call it that, as P1 has passed P10. Jeff Lubitsch has just entered the car for Drunken Skunk Racing.
I'm honestly just not halfway paying attention to chat just because they're being a rambunctious group tonight, but I am keeping eyes on it if there's some good comments being made.
And Great Underdog Racing in the Dissidents just pit. And looks like Great Underdog is going out. Dissidence is... looks like Appalachian is right. It's, everybody's past them, so... They were running third, but they went long when everyone else went into the pits. Strategy that looks like it's failed for them. Tyler Anderson did a 1 minute 52 stop. Oh, well, that's your issue there. Maybe they had some damage or issue driver swapping, but they were running third. The Dissidents on a podium step. Cooper McCoy put them on the podium, and now Tyler Sage Anderson having to recover this race. He's got a long way to go. P3 is at the end of Sector 2 going to Sector 3, so maybe this is still salvageable. I mean, 25 seconds ahead, just as P5 is Landon Lloyd. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did they get a speeding penalty?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
That makes sense.
That would be like them getting held, and then, but they also did the pit. Cooper made a blooper.
All right, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, Jack Presley takes over for Arcadian Motorsports here, and Kyle Bastos in Inca Salsa Racing is in third once again. This is an AM class driver ahead right now, the pro. Not to be outdone with the our Barbecue Boys livery. There are good comments, some good comments, but if you can see briefly, the Arcadian Motorsports team have put a little anime waifu on their livery as well. I think it's something about P-Doc's setups, P1 Doc setups, or something like that. It says on the side. He's 8/10 off. B5's really close, 1.1. Garreth, you were gonna say?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually gonna bring in Cooper, and there he is from the distance. Cooper, how's it going?
And entrance. It's pretty good. I'm let's say I'm happy to be out of the car.
What? Just because we were just talking about it, what was going on with a little bit longer pit time there?
Oh, massive speeding penalty. Yeah, I completely blew the pit entry.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what it was being guessed, but wasn't 100% sure. And since I saw you there, I was like, oh, this is perfect. We can just confirm this real quick. So, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Didn't practice the pit in once, and just fully locked it up. I was about 50 kilometers an hour over the pit speed limit, so took that one on the chin.
Yeah, absolutely. How was your stint out there? What are you seeing out on track, and just kind of like the pros and cons?
Well, clearly the top two have kind of run away with the field there. We started P7 after the first couple laps, worked our way up to P3 through a couple of incidents, but overall, I'm real thankful. We had a lot of fun this season, and I want to say thank you to the admins for putting it together and all the hard work they've done. And looking forward to some of the changes next week.
Absolutely, yeah. What are you kind of foreseeing? Like, looks like you guys will have to do one more pit. Are you going to be hopping back into the car for the last stint, or are you done for the night?
Oh God, no. I think this is my official resignation to the LMP2. I think iRacing pretty much buried the LMP2 with their changes this last season, and as much as I was a huge proponent of the LMP2 and I really enjoyed racing it, but I think they've pretty much killed it, and we're looking forward to running the GT3 or potentially some other car if it's presented as an option for next season.
I gotcha. We knew the tire model was a huge hit on the LMP2s. What other updates, just so everyone else is kind of on the same page with updates that the LMP2's gotten that's made it more difficult?
Yeah, well, the tire model was one of the big things. It really just neutralizes the race for the first 2 laps. It's kind of just conga line style driving, trying not to die. But by nerfing the speed difference between the LMP2 and the GT3, it kind of makes it really uninteresting to drive in a multi-class style race, particularly at tight racetracks like we saw at Long Beach. And it kind of just feels disconnected. You used to be able to hop into the LMP2 and feel like it was a driver's car, and you could just hop in, put down laps, and put the car where you wanted it to be. And maybe it's skill difference. Maybe I'm not cut out to drive the new LMP2, but it kind of feels like they took away that connectedness. It feels more like a school bus.
Oh, yeah, that would add some frustrations for sure. And I mean, like with those updates that we have no control over, I mean, it does add some frustration, especially with that tire model right at the beginning of the season. That was just a huge blow to everyone just trying to relearn what to do, especially cold tires on lap or on turn one.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm really thankful to the admins and everything they've done to make this season go smoothly as it has. But we're trying to play our cards and see what we can bring back together for next season.
Awesome. No, very excited for it. Jason, do you have any questions for Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper, one question. Is your teammate really mad at you about what you did, or is he going to let you take this away in a good fashion?
Well, I think he's more upset about the fact that I handed him the car at 14 incident points. So he's only got like 10 to work with before he gets a drive-through, so I can give him a double penalty, basically. Then I'm sure he'll be really happy.
Oh, yikes. That sounds right. Did you see no incidents on track when you were in the car, or were you able to get by on some of those LMP2s?
The turn 1 incident was really the only one I saw. I think I gained 2 or 3 positions off that one, but worked my way past, I think, 2 drivers on track, and I didn't really see any of the other ones. I had the stream pulled up on my second monitor, so I saw some of the other incidents behind, but nothing in front.
All right. Well, thank you, Cooper. Hopefully your teammate can finish strongly for your team. He's got a little bit of a disadvantage, but Tyler's pretty quick, so
you could say that.
He's still quick,
yeah,
though.
Thanks for having me.
I think he can come back a little bit here. I think he will at least crawl back to 5th, maybe 4th. I mean, it's not without the realm of possibility. Even if you look at his lap times right now, he's putting in some strong laps. He's a full second ahead of one of his competitors. So
he just said in the voice chat, he said it's, quote, not gonna happen. So I think that answers that question.
Well, consistency could be something we can see out of Tyler soon, and maybe this is the consistent race he gets it done.
That's true. They don't call him Mr. Achievement for nothing.
There we go. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the race.
Yeah, great on Cooper for joining us for the Dissidents team. They're in 8th position. He had confirmed they did have a speeding penalty there. He was proprietor of that. He's got 11 seconds to Trevor Bonesteel. I think that's a little bit quicker. I think that's a little bit smaller of a gap than we were seeing before. I think it was 15 seconds. But one thing to note while we were getting that interview is Matthew Mordhart, who jumped into the car for Cone Killer Racing. He got passed by 499 Racing. So if there was any shadow of a doubt that 499 Racing wasn't going to win this race, or not only win the championship, it is now being stomped out here with them leading the race. But with the points in hand, with the drop week in effect, they were still going to win it, even from 2nd position.
Yeah, there would have to be something crazy to happen for a big change-up, but I mean...
Or a commentator's curse?
I'm trying not to do anything.
Yeah,
let's just say I don't have that power yet. There we go.
Yeah.
But no, it's, I mean, those guys are, I mean, both 499 and Cone Killer are just extremely strong drivers on this track, and we're just seeing it lap after lap, and especially with the commanding lead that they're getting on the rest of the drivers in that class. But yeah, I mean, good on them for being able to get first position so far, but I mean, we still have an hour and 5 minutes left of this race, so anything can happen.
It's very true. Anything can happen. We did see those pit stops. It kind of dialed the field back in a little bit. People got really close only for things to kind of spread apart after a couple laps in. They found their groove. Tires were back up to temp, and things start to spread apart a little bit. Tyler Tier's in the car for the Appalachian GT3 Punters. They're ahead of the great underdog racing of Trevor Bonesteel, but he's got about a 12-second gap, almost 13 seconds to get back here. As Jack Presley of Arcadian Motorsports doing pretty well. They're in 4th position. They did gain a position off of Incasalsa Racing during that interview where Kyle Bastos spun. But well in hand. Another good one here is Landon Loy, who's in 3rd. Craig Carroll really held out that car, defended, battled, got ahead of people. They're only up 1 position, but they were fighting everyone around them, including the team behind them, including Appalachian GT3 Punchers. Got by Inca Salsa. Now that Landon Loy's in the car, very fast driver. They're only up 1 position in the 3rd, but this could be an ultimately great result for them, especially with some of the factors that were involved in their race so far.
Yeah, I mean, with that little accident that happened with Craig, I mean, Landon is extreme. I mean, both of them are extremely fast drivers, and being able to already get up to P3 and holding that right now is awesome.
Oh my. Yeah, and all that praise goes a long way, but sometimes it doesn't. Here's Tyler Anderson, and has spun there. It's back out on track. Looks like Jesse Gonzalez is still in the car there. He's going for it again. Gets ahead. And unsettled rear. And that is not a racing line, but it looks like he's fine.
Those incident points are not going to treat him well in the long run.
He is stopped on track. Oh, that was the spin.
Oh, so that was leading up to it.
No, that's a second one at the same corner.
Oh.
Ah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
And that's also the amount of incident points he has left. He's accumulated 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my.
Well,
that could have been intentional at that point. And our first Broken Wing Racing League wing is out. All right, Four Loco Racing and Ryan A. Phillips. He gets in the car, and that is Cool Tires. We saw this. This is when that those races were going on there. The race for P1. That's my teammate.
So my guess is with how far they're able to push the car with the fuel, we probably won't. They'll just do the first driver swap, which is what we've already been seeing. A lot of the drivers are being swapped over. If not all of them.
Most of them have swapped over. The one that I will notice that hasn't is going to be Colin Arnold of 499 Racing. He was in the car originally on the first stint, and he's still in the car.
So my guess is with that they'll be doing a quick splash and dash at the very end.
Well, he's got Nick Ebby and Bradley Sexton as his teammates, so it's possible one of the two gets into the car.
Okay. But a lot of these other drivers, I think they're just expecting a little out there. That they'll just do the driver swap early, and then so they can reduce the pit time as much as possible, and or just not have that issue if they just need to get a little bit of build to get to the end.
Absolutely, I believe it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be a full-on splash test, but they're gonna still need to get we're gonna see probably instead of like the 58s you see right there on lap 23. That was a GT3 car, but they'll probably be 30-ish seconds. Maybe
Yeah, it won't be like a
low
full
40s.
splash.
Yeah,
That was kind of bad terminology on my part, but less fuel than norm.
definitely. Still. What would be close to that? Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I was just, he did go one of those, like, he's already far off to the exit. On Garreth, just maybe on Tyler Anderson when he was on that curbing, and then he shoots across the track. Like, I was just out of this race, like, mentally. I would have just put my foot down and see how far I go, and that could have been a situation too. Like, if I'm already out, might as well just. I'm already unsettled. Let me see what happens if I just keep my foot in, and bam, I crashed. I'm like, all right, well now I can call it good. But I'm not saying that's what he did, because Tyler Tier gets ever so close to Kyle Bastos. I think it's also racing just ahead of him.
Well, and that's one of those hard things that just trying to keep a level head, especially after you have a few spin outs like that little tap there. But when you have a few of those spin outs that you're just trying to get back into the groove of racing without being frustrated or anything like that, that can be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you spin out twice in the same corner. Your tires are not going to feel confident. Or you're not going to be confident in your tires, as well as they're not going to be at the temp you want them at. They might be too hot, and ultimately, yeah, it just could be it. The Dissidents were 8th place in the championship.
Well, less than an hour to go, and you know what? Hopefully this isn't a commentator's curse now, guys. But we have not had a safety car yet.
Doesn't it stop after a specific time?
Yep. So we have 27 more minutes. That's possible.
27.
But yeah, after that last 30 minutes, there's no more safety car. It is just full green light.
And, I think this is going to come down to a mistake being made here. And look at that exit from Tyler Tier, fully on the power before Kyle Bastos was. He just got ahead of him. Not really even having to defend there. Guess we'll see definitively whether or not Tyler Tier's pace is going to be ultimately that much stronger than Kyle Bastos, or if he's going to have to worry about defending. After a couple laps, that will definitely start to take more effect here, as he's already 8/10 separated from Kyle Bastos.
Yeah, he's working on getting that lead and just trying to make it so he doesn't have to battle again. But hopefully Kyle Bastos can really put it into gear and make up some time and try and reclaim that spot back.
Yeah, I mean, it's still up for debate. He's only 9/10 back, 8/10. Once we get past the accordion effect, in the braking zones, really extends, then possible in the fast section we'll see how far much down he is. Right now he's still 9/10 back, but Tyler Tier's last lap was a 136.8. Kyle Bastos was a 138 even, so somewhere along this lap we'll see where he's gaining that time.
looks like he has these corners just figured out and just nailed down, and he's just being able to gain that speed on them.
Yeah, you said it. He's gaining a lot here in sector at the end of sector 1 and into sector 2. And popping along over here, we have Matt Benson, Valhalla Motorsports. Always talk positive about everybody doing well on track. It's just the nature of commentating. You always want to see everybody do well in hand.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to do bad, that's for sure.
I mean, sometimes I do. I just don't tell you who they are. Did this person kill me in the Xfinity race? Well, here's the curse coming their way.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to work on my next livery. I mean, and talking about liveries in general, as always, these guys always do such a great job, as we've seen in this new series with everyone's liveries. Absolutely spectacular job.
Well, it isn't, yeah, I mean, well, what I'll say about that is I am maintaining the jeans machine because it's fitting. I race in jeans. Jeans are comfortable. And also, race hail, praise hail. And it's a great livery. It's a tribute.
Hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah, it really is. Racing in jeans is wild. I mean, different strokes. I mean, if you don't think jeans are comfortable, you just haven't found, or you just haven't ever wore jeans the correct size for yourself. I got everything's perfectly aligned. I have 2 pairs. They're extremely comfortable. Never have to worry about them. Who's jorts? That's disgusting. Jorts. The flip-flops is also weird. Feet, just wearing bare feet, that's disgusting. Socks. I saw Chris in socks and I was like, yuck. Gotta just get that out of my mind. Florida's too hot for jeans. Well, I mean, that's true. You guys have humidity and whatnot. But even at night, I still wear. Also, you're probably in an AC unit, so don't give me that. This isn't a fight on track, truly, but it still kind of is. Matt Benson is close to unlapping himself from Thomas Smith. He's 6/10 back. This isn't for all the marbles or anything, but he has been quicker, if not only a 10th quicker than Thomas Smith here. Getting himself unlapped would make it himself that much closer, still long ways to go in this race, to catching back up to this driver and retaking 7th position from him. It is entirely possible, even if for whatever reason something happens and this driver spins out, that's a 20-second margin he's gained going further and further on that one. Garreth, what are your thoughts on this? The socks are great for your feet. I recommend you try them.
What, are you asking my recommendation on socks or jeans, or both?
I mean, this conversation at large, it looks like I've been divisive enough on chicken sandwiches, now it comes down to jeans. We live, also, Garreth lives in the same city as I do, and it is generally cold most of the time. Like, I wouldn't switch, I mean, like, jeans are perfectly fine for this winter weather. They insulate good enough. I mean,
I've raced in jeans, sweats, dress pants. I've done it all the last year.
dress pants.
And yeah, when I get home from work, I'll just hop on right away and not worry about anything.
Shorts.
But oh no. Yeah, there we go.
I will say t-shirt is the only thing, like, where it's got to be a t-shirt. If there's more than a t-shirt, I mean, I already sweat through my entire back section. Like, I'm just sweating profusely. But that has nothing to do with my jeans. I don't sweat through my jeans. I just sweat through my my t-shirt, the back of my t-shirt, because like it's just like a like it's the seat. I even have a fan on, like just directing right at me.
I have a sweatshirt on most of the time, actually.
That's disgusting. All right. Just kidding. Still, nothing's happened out of this battle, but he has been closer. He's 0.3 closer. He was 0.8 a couple laps ago.
I'm also a shoes person. I have to have shoes on.
I wear shoes. You know, I wear high tops.
Oh, really?
The Converse, the Converse high tops with the ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wear those.
Okay.
They're my walking shoes. If I'm gonna walk a long distance, I use my Converse high tops. So they got like a good ankle support, because I've sprained my ankle a couple times throughout the years. Yeah, the shoe game. I'll buy your jeans. Oh my god. Who is Kazken, by the way? Now I'm not even sure. I don't know everyone's gamer nicknames.
I think that's Tyler.
Kazken is Trey? I thought that was Trey. I thought that was Cat Stack.
Yeah, that.
I thought
Yeah.
Cat Stack, or is Matt Shack Cat Stack?
Those two names. Cat Stack is Trey.
Yeah, Cat Stack is Trey.
Kaz Ken. Tyler?
Oh, you think it's Tyler? Oh yeah, Tyler did leave. Cat Stack is Matt Shack and Kaz Ken is Mistack? That can't be right, because Trey's been in the chat so many times. I've always thought it was Cat Stack. Am I being... Is the team Shake Stack messing with me right now?
I would assume so. I don't know why you believe anything they say, John.
I
mean,
no, I can't at this
tonight's
point.
chat has proved that we cannot believe anything they say.
He's on 2 accounts? That part I could believe. He's pumping the numbers there for Bald and Proud. I saw the hot tub comment. Guys, what are you doing?
I didn't see that, and I'm glad I didn't.
I believe Justin is 7 natty lights deep right now. Believe it or not, if I could have a beer, I probably would, just to get on Justin's level. Hot tub jean stream.
I'll stick to my.
Guys, we're still watching a race here. P1 and 2 are still close together, but marginally close.
The last 15 minutes, I don't think there's been much of a race just because of this conversation.
Well, our closest competitors on track are the driver who's trying to unlap himself. He was 0.3 back, but now he's kind of put it back to 0.6. Matt Benson's been pretty strong, though.
We've never had this massive of a split before, of just by same class, of just how spread apart everyone is.
Yeah, but at this point, he has had a little bit of record screen time. That was at least 3 or 4 laps. Having a look at chat and this, but the 499 Racing and Cone Killer Racing, we're looking at Matthew Morthard, still only 0.9 back. He's actually been slightly catching this driver ahead. Well, Matt Benson's girlfriend does watch the stream, and it's only fair we give her a chance to see her boyfriend behind the wheel. There's Jesse Canales, the Barbecue Boys. It looked like it was a little bit of a slowdown there because he didn't get the full line he wanted. So Barbecue Boys making this a little spicy. for Colin Arnold here, who's now only 6/10 back, 7/10 back from Cone Killer Racing. See,
I think this last race is like can be closely referenced to like the last day of school,
yeah,
where it's just like things are just off the rail, and I mean, it's no benefit or it's no fault of anyone. It's just how spread apart everyone is that just makes it difficult.
yeah. Well,
So we decided to have some more fun. That's what we do in the meantime.
go back over to Colin. Our P1 and 2 are now separated by almost half a second. They're 6/10. Trevor Bonesteel is getting pretty close as well. Christopher Horton is also another driver who's now in contention. He's only 7/10 back off of Jesse Canales, who didn't make a driver change, and neither did Christopher Horton. So, if I am remembering correctly, Barbecue Boys has a solo dolo, and 499 Racing 498 car does not. So Christopher Horton's probably going to let his teammate finish out this race and do a driver swap. Still 6/10 back, but going back over to 1 and 2. All I'm going to say there, Garreth, is that I cannot trust anything Kazken is saying, because they're just memeing off of Catstack, and Catstack I know is Trey, so I don't know who Kazken is.
Right. So Barbecue Boys has not done a solo dolo week. And in which 499 racing team were you referring to? Because we do have multiples. 498?
My name is Trey. Yeah. If he's really doing, I mean, that's just the silliest thing I've ever seen. The 498 car of Christopher Horton, yes. He's 7/10 back off of Jesse Canales.
Okay, so yeah, 498 has used their solo dolo already.
498? Yeah, yes they have. That's why I'm curious to see what happens there. I'm not quite sure. Looks like Trevor Bonesteel is going into the pit lane. No idea why they're on lap. I mean, actually, they stopped. It's on lap 27, 26, probably 26. Bizarre. Jesse Canales is in. 498. Christopher Horton is out. Magician Fu, thanks for the follow. Oh my god. You're right. This is this is getting ridiculous. Right. Chris Moulton is in the car, so they did the driver swap, so now they fulfilled the conditions. No longer a solo dolo for Great Underdog Racing. Watch those rears there, bud. This is cold tires on the LMP2. It's going to take a couple laps for this guy to get back in, but he's in 9th place now. Ryan Phillips goes ahead, as well as Jeff Lubitsch. Alright, well, let's see, we have that gap that was 0.6 is now 1.2. I think more than anything the GT3 split when they were passing the traffic is what caused them to get really close together. Just stating based off of the last lap was a 135.6 to a 136.1, and he's not going to be able to get his quickest line in there because Luke Wallace is ahead of him. And yeah, we'll probably slow him down a little bit more. Look at that, 1.1 turned into 1.6, and he get the flashes down. You know, I think there's a little bit of sass happening out there on track. Is ooh, what the heck is happening here?
I don't know. Looks like he was stuck and couldn't move for a second.
Okay, so he goes in. Okay, now his car won't move. He's spinning it. Oh, that is so bizarre.
That's a first. I've never seen that before.
And he's out. Oh, he spins the car and, yeah, just... It's a lot of firsts happening in this race, I'll say that. A lot of firsts. Given that we're on the last race in the finale of the first season here, Broken Ring Le Mans Series. I have no idea what is going on with some of these drivers. It'd be great to see what Matt Benson has to say with get 25. Jason and Garreth, give your season review. Ooh, I'd have to think about every race that has been going on right now.
We've had a lot of really good highlights. Road America stands out to me. It might be just because I'm a little biased because that's one of my favorite tracks in general. And we had rain on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one stands out to me as that was a lot of fun to watch, especially with rain being thrown in there. Which one was it? Was it the second race? I have to look now and see. Sebring was just kind of a big stand because that was the race opener, new tire model. That was the last to see, and just seeing everything take off. Hockenheim, that one was the wild one with all the safety cars with the hairpin, and after the 3 safety cars were used, then we had that, I don't know what to call it, an explosion of accidents at the hairpin.
Yeah, I'm kind of parse together the reviews here. While that's happening, Garreth, I'm going to give the command to you for just 2 minutes here. I have to. It's a little quick break, and then
No worries.
right. As this is a fight on our hands, technically Jesse Canales is battling out for the 498 car just ahead of him. That's something. As
Yeah, this is what we haven't seen this since like the beginning of the race, where we've actually had like 3 drivers all kind of battling out together. Looks like one of them was able to peel off a little bit. Looks like Derek was finally able to get pulled ahead with his Mercedes, and just looks like he's able to keep that down. And then just coming up on Todd Swanson there, 499. But yeah, I'm trying to think what race that was last. Oh my gosh, what was the last track at? Someone in chat tell me what the last track was, because I'm drawing a blank somehow. And Derek just gets in front of Todd Swanson there. Still all battling it out pretty good right there and staying real close. It's close there, but looks like they're able to keep it relatively clean right there. And let's all kind of separate out. Long Beach. That's right. How could I forget about Long Beach? That one, we had the crazy start at the beginning of the water which the GT3s did actually a really good job of not getting mixed into that from the LMP2's accident head. And we're able just to kind of sit there and park it and just wait for, because there's a car that was basically completely turned around and at that waterfall area. It was hard for it to kind of, basically had to Austin Powers it a little bit and just turn around and get in the right direction again.
Oh, we're still doing the review?
A little bit, yeah. I was just, they were having to help me because I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out where the last one was, but it was Long Beach. And I was just talking about the first turn, well, not first turn, but into the water fountain.
Oh, yeah, the fountain section, the reverse move.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about the reverse move, too. That was an interesting play. We saw a lot of interesting driving on that one as well.
And Cone Killer Racing is going into the pit lane, as well as 499 Racing. This is going to kind of neutralize their race a little bit, as Pursuit Punch Racing still has a couple of corners to go here. Maybe we'll see something happen. Jessica Nall is still in the fight there. As far as the review goes, we'll take a look here. Bradley Sexton gets in the car for 499. Ryan Otis back in the car. I think Ryan Otis started the race for them. I guess that means that the dad did not show up, right?
Yes.
Samuel Otis. He was not here for it, so son and friend doing this one for 499 Racing. So a lot of drivers are going to get, some of them are going to get to positions here, but it's not going to matter that much as Cone Killer Racing gets ahead of 499 Racing for the lead.
Oh, same as the son. Ryan is the dad.
Same as the son? Oh, okay. So the dad's racing with the friend.
Very cool. And I love that team just because of that combo. That's so cool to see.
Let's see if Bradley Sexton can make anything happen here. 499. Oh, wait, no. Did I read that wrong? I was completely reading that wrong. Cone Killer Racing is the... So, which one is Bradley? Oh, it's Colin Arnold, Nick Ebby, and Bradley Sexton. I was mixing those teams up. They're running the same livery. What do you guys want from me? Colin Arnold raced the entire first two stints and then gave it over to Bradley Sexton. Nick Ebby did not get in the car. And then now we have Ryan Otis back in the car for Matthew Mordhart. And we have Tyler Tier just ahead of Craig Brick. And that's out there. And Appalachian is also... Hey, this last pit stop changed things up. Tyler Tier is now into P4 over Ryan Hammond in Arcadian Motorsports. 212 will be there for season. Absolutely. There's a move done there. And we got a couple more battles on our hands as Blake Patterson and Ryan Phillips are only 3/10 off. And this is Drunken Skunk over 4 Local Racing, 2 AM Class Gentleman's Cup LMP2 drivers. Yeah, Gareth, going back to the review, we can still try to continue talking about it while these battles are happening. This one's still pretty close, but I'm going to start with the first race, Race 0 at the Glen. That was the race where people went bowling. Or was that the GT3 Sprint in the turn 1? Now I'm going to probably confuse these up with the GT3 Sprint Championship, but I think, you know what, I think that was probably the GT3 Sprint Championship and not, but Race 0. Who runs ads on a free league? Or at least the tax returns. Well, to be completely fair with you there, Kaz Ken, the ads I don't know if they can even hear us when the ads play. I forget. I don't even
No.
watch Twitch that much. Maybe it'll come back and well, for those not getting the ads there. Trey needs to chill. You know, the more this is.
They're doing this on purpose.
They
I'm
are.
just
They are.
ignoring it.
They are. It is, and you know what? Now I'm buying the whole Trey has two accounts theory, because he's just riffing off of himself. I mean, even though I know this is just a bit, I will still answer honestly. Is that the proceeds from the ad revenue sales are split, and they go to the league to maintain the servers, and, you know, the entries for everything that they do. That is it. And the other half, I don't even know what the split is. I forget what the split is, but the other half goes to me when I have to buy tracks, because if the new track is added to the list, they just give me money to pay for it, so I don't have to end up having to buy it. Whoa! And Blake Patterson immediately slows down, because that looked like a move that wasn't a move. That was, and we're gonna go to Chopper here and take a look at this. Yeah, he knew what he did. He knew what he did. That's why he slowed. Going over this. Did he let him by? Four Loco Racing is... he's too far back. Well, thank you for the hearts on that one. No, it's always been like a long-standing thing. I don't know. I think most people know that. Like, I mean, like, I do this broadcast for free. I mean, Garrett's doing it for free with me in this part of the series. For this series, I mean, GT3 Sprint been doing it for I don't know, like 6 seasons now. I'm not sure for the GT3 Sprint. But yeah, the only thing I've ever asked is if I don't have the track, that I'll either just not cast that week, or if they want to give me. I also have I've already hit my number on the amount of things, so it's super cheap. I think it's like $11 or $12, whatever it is, to get whatever a full track is. I get the discount, the big discount. Jessica Canales is still fighting out here with Todd Swanson, the 499 Racing's 498 car. Thank you, guys. You even saying so. Garreth, what's the best sandwich shop in Spokane, Washington?
Sandwich shop?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, like, are we just talking just like a normal sandwich, or? Because I feel like you could. I know what these guys are digging at, and I'm not about to. I don't really have like that.
I would say Seamus's.
Seamus is really good.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Subdivision. I don't know if you've ever been to that one. That's the one on quote. Haha. No, it's not on Division. It's actually on God, Ruby.
Which one?
It's not on Ruby. It's on. You know when Ruby split, or when is in that street that splits north south? That's Division. Near downtown.
Which sandwich place are we talking about? I didn't hear.
Subdivision? You've ever been to Subdivision?
Oh no, I've never even heard of it.
Well, see, I actually am a. It is Division, yeah. And there's Ruby and Division, okay, and it splits to Ruby. Yeah, it's on Division side. South. It's on when it's south one way. But it's a sandwich shop. I've been to all the sandwich shops in Spokane, most of them, except in the Valley. If they've been built in the last like decade, I haven't been to the ones in the Valley because, yuck, to that place.
Wow.
I lived there for a long time, so I think I have the ability and opinion to say that one. Dominies is fantastic. Did they shut down? I was just there like a month, like 2 months ago.
I thought they did.
No, they were. I was there 2 months ago for sure.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. There's a place out in the valley, sadly, that I go to all the time called Hungry Tea. That's really good. They have some really good roast beef sandwiches.
You know, instead of Thai food, I think the first meal that you, myself, and Chris have is go to a sandwich place and then just record our interaction for the Broken Wing Racing League.
I would be down.
Memes.
That'd be funny. We've been talking about that for a while. We just need to pick a date. Just do it.
Yeah, it's true that we just have to pick a date. Jesse Canales is the second runner-up here for most screen time in this race with his anime waifu livery. Also has not switched. Did he switch with somebody else? I don't think he. I think he has a solo dolo, by the way. Yeah, he has a solo dolo, so this might be a solo dolo, but. I'm always free. Need a whole ad reel. You guys want an ad reel? I'll just toss in a little sim motion for you on top of the ad reels. Although the sim motion one, we don't get extra money for adding the reel post what we already give it in as. So that's just what it is. Ryan Hamm is really close. Ryan Hammond is really close here to Tyler Tier. But while that is said, we'll go on lap 54. We're on lap 60. Arcadian Motorsports of Ryan Hammond. It said he crashed right here. I think he's just going slow.
Yeah, I think that was maybe just a slow exit, but I'm not. There's no crash.
Yeah, there's no crash. It usually happens right. Yeah, look at even Craig Brick is going ultra slow.
I think it was
these
going through.
Yeah, these aren't crashes, but that one is, and that was a whoopsie. You can't tell that Blake did try to just be like, "Yeah, sorry, man, spin around and get back on it," and then he kind of cooked his rear tires, I should say. But then he got back out, and is he going slow?
No, I think it's part of the rule of letting traffic out go. So I think that's what was going on with them just kind of being slow because there was a lot of traffic there that they're just letting go by.
That Eddie rule. I like how if that is Trey on his second account, he's just going hard right now. You know, there is the sub shop on. It's just off of Sprague. That's also I just can't think of the name of it right now, but that one's good. But people say it's great when it's not. It's they say it's great because like they have their own chips and they salt them themselves, and then they throw a pickle on the side, and then you get this big massive sandwich, and it's similar to Domini's, but I don't think it's amazing. I think it's mid. What's that?
We don't use that terminology here.
You guys didn't even cause a safety car without me first. I mean, there is no safety car on this one. We are past that completely. And yeah, look at this, Bradley Sexton. Oh, what were you gonna say, Garrett?
What's that?
So, what were you had something to say?
Oh, I think I was just digging around trying to figure out what sandwich shop you're talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the gap I guess the difference in margins right here for P1 to 2 is now 3.7 seconds. The 499 nerds might want to do some number crunching here, but I've done my own set of number crunching, and I know that 499 Racing is going to be our first championship LMP2 Pro Team to win Season 1, your Broken Wing Le Mans Series. And that will almost undoubtedly settle this one. But we still got some drivers in the mix here. 14 laps to go. Inca Salsa Racing of Craig Brick. I mean, yeah, barring they don't do any funny business, and I don't want to speak on that further there, Garreth. You know all too well what happens if I speak too highly of something happening. Inca Salsa Racing is, and too bad Draft Punk Silver couldn't be here because they're in second place. Four Loco Racing is here, but they are in ninth place. They needed to be ahead of Inca Salsa and gain a good 102 points over Inca Salsa Racing. Barring any incidents here, Inca Salsa Racing could be our first LMP2 Gentlemen's Cup Championship winners. Then going over to Hyperion Racing 6. They are still well in hand, 11.6 seconds up on their rivals. This is amazing for them. Almost clinical. The GT3 Pro Hyperion Racing 7 team is, I probably said 6 earlier, but again, Roman numerals, and we haven't been talking about the Hyperion Racing drivers for a while. Another championship winning team, but they dominated. We've seen domination before in the GT3 Sprint championship. We've seen it in the street fights, but this is a clinical precision domination of a championship. I've seen nothing like this. When we had the likes battling it out in seasons 7, 8, 9, when Matt Shack, Trey Mistack, Peter Flanner, Elliot Burton, gosh, who am I missing here? There's other drivers that are up there in the queue of my that are up there in alien status that were battling, but it wouldn't ever just go one way unless, I mean, it wouldn't ever just be 11.9 seconds ahead. I think Peter Flanner managed that a couple times, so did Matt, so did Trey, but like, I mean, it's always been a kind of a toss-up. Garreth, I know you've been around for those kind of races. I think we're seeing a domination that's higher than what we've seen in the GT3 Sprint Championship Series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I can't recall a race where it's been like this crazy spread out. Maybe it's just because it's also multi-class as well, so we're kind of seeing it doubled a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's a few other names that I was just thinking as well. It's amazing that we have that many fast drivers out there that have had some massive high points where they just take the field and they just run it. And
who are you thinking of?
one that was kind of pointing out that I was thinking was when it wasn't for GT3, it was just another fast driver in general, is Leo in the Super Formula Lights. That guy was brutal. Once he joined the Super Formula Lights, no one could catch him for the longest time. I think maybe Trey was able to catch him on a few tracks, but it was there for a while where it was just every single week that he was taking hold. But yeah, it's crazy that we have that many drivers roaming around here. Still the best.
Yeah, no, you're right. I never followed the Super Formula Lights at all, but just to briefly bring it back to and not leave out our GT3 Gentlemen's Cup, Lars Tyhouse, his team was consistently here and at the track race after race. It's something we didn't get out of the rest of the other Gentlemen's Cup drivers that joined with their teams. But it doesn't matter if he was racing, their team was racing alone some weekends, but they did race some of the other ones other times. That being said, we're going to be getting this championship nipped in the bud for them as well. And, you know, do you remember the Formula, what was it, the F3 series, when it was just a melee? Like, people, like, I remember specifically a friend of mine was saying, hey, you guys got to join this league. They do Formula 3, and they get like 40, 50 people in these races, and it's chaos. And I was like, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. And I remember joining them and I'm like, holy, this is actual chaos. There's just wings going everywhere. People are crashing out into turn 1, turn 4, turn 6. I mean, like, as long as you survive, you would be in a good position by the end of those races. And that's all it came down to, is survive. This is the most chaotic race you'll ever be in, is a Broken Wing Racing League Formula 3 race.
That was before my time, before I joined, that was going on. But that sounds fun.
Yeah, you have to. Well, I'm not even talking about Super Formula. I remember I was talking F3 before.
No, that's what I was meaning.
Yeah, no. Trey in Cat Stack here is saying half the grid would die in Super Formula. I never joined the Super Formula. I never even bought the car. I got into the league during the Formula 3 era, and yeah, that F3 car was wickedly fun and fast, but it was just a death sentence. But it was a fun race if you could survive it or get around it.
Would be some proposed series. Hey, I'm all up for doing a Miata one. That one still to me would be a blast. What about you, Jason? What do you think would be a fun series to do?
LMP1 versus GT with GTEs or GT3s. I don't give it. LMP1s versus anything. Take out the LMP2, put the LMP1 in this series, and you have your change already right there in the mix. People talking about how they don't have enough power down to get past these GT3s on these smaller tracks. Guess what? Boost button. It recharges on braking, so you get 100% at the start of the lap. You can burn through that 100% and use another 100% on the next lap. You can do whatever you want. It's an amazing rocket ship level button that propels you past anybody you want to be past. It's better than push to pass in IndyCar. It's the only thing that makes me feel alive when I get behind a race car in iRacing.
What about Xfinity? You don't feel alive in those?
Those actually,
I know what you mean.
It's
a whole different series.
With the Xfinity, the first half of the race, I'm just joking around. I'm making jokes. I'm goofing around. I may even do some stupid moves just to see what's happening with the group. But towards the end, and I still realize I'm not dead in this race, I take it completely seriously. I'm not having any fun until I know I've conceded or got in a decent position. Because the first season, I kept dying because people were killing me in those races. Unnecessarily so. And so I if I'm in a good position, I just shut up and take it as seriously as I possibly can. I'm gripping my wheel too hard. I'm ready to go. Although I did win third in the Miata Mazda Oval, and I did that because I was playing as seriously as I can. Everyone else was having fun. I was like, no, I'm winning, or I'm going to win. To get close to winning.
Yeah, that was a chaotic race.
That was still fun.
It was a blast, and the ending was sure was as crazy as the rest of the race as well. That Darren Hahn won that one with me right behind him, and then Chris Lambeth doing his famous move of yeeting himself into the pits.
Yeah, that was a very unexpected one. But I will say that just going back to it, I don't think enough people have experienced the LMP1. The actual boost is, you can see your battery and you can see the charge, and when you hit the button, it literally propels you so fast ahead of anything around you that you've cleared them before using, I don't know, 15 points on that battery, maybe 25. But if you wanted to get past a rival and you both are using it at the same time, I mean, now you're really gunning at it. But at one of these tough tracks where it's hard to get past, quote past some of the GTE 3s, good luck for them. You're gonna shoot past them, spit on their tires, and be 100 meters ahead of them before they even know what hit them. It's going to be like a rocket ship past them. It's one of the greatest cars that was ever invented and not used or utilized correctly in this this platform.
Making me want to buy the car now. I've never driven that thing.
They never put it to legacy, but it should be considered legacy status at this point because it is. They retired it after ESS. It's not been in anything. They're not using it for anything. Make it $6, make it $5, whatever it is. It's annoying that it's still a full price car that no one is not in any series. Can we get an end of the season recap by the commentators? Garreth has I mean, my season recap is that round 0 at Watkins was fairly clean as it could be. I mean, there were some incidents, but it wasn't that big of a it wasn't that bad of a race. I would say round 1, which was Sebring, if I'm not mistaken, right? I forget. Well, if I knew tangential, yes, round sunset, night to that was the race where the update changed.
Yep.
So the update really changed the LMP2's tires, which made everyone not really take turn 1 cautiously, as they never do. I will say that one thing you can count on LMP2 drivers is to not be cautious by any means. They are an aggressive group of drivers, just with the GTPs. There's something that happens when you get behind a car that's faster than your brain's ability to comprehend things. You start to make mistakes, and those mistakes were turn 1 at Sebring, followed by the safety car generator, which didn't really work out and pan out well. The GT3s were all over the place. It made that entire Sebring race very chaotic. I don't know if it was a true great win for anybody in that one. It was just the field was so split because some people were going slow. They weren't pacing correctly. As one member of this community, Justin, who loves Trey's feet, and would say, it just comes down to the fact that no one was pacing behind the safety car correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hockenheim, you said it best. It's chaotic. Those restarts were insane. Again, it comes down to fast drivers not being as cautious as they could be. It's a long race, and a lot of damage occurred. Some unreputable dives maybe occurred just a little bit, where you're like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work out, but go for it. And, they didn't. Road America, rain. That was a good race. Garreth, I think you could probably agree. Everything worked out fine for most of the drivers, although some sends down the inside line, not on purpose, but because they forgot to brake. And
yeah,
that was something of a recap.
No, overall though, it's been an absolute blast of a series and a kickoff to a season. That's for sure. I mean, we've had so many different variables being thrown out there, and just the difficulties with the updates being put out there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a blast.
Yeah, it was a blast, and I'll say that still with the recap, it comes down to Long Beach, which was a phenomenal race with how many drivers were on the grid. That was we still had 30-something, almost 40 teams still in that race, which is a very, very daunting thing. It didn't end up like the GT3 Sprint Championship race. The GT3 drivers were actually a lot more accommodating in that race at the start of the race, and ultimately it was the LMP2 class. There seems to be a running theme here, is that the LMP2 class had an incident in the fountain section, which kind of negated the race start, but on restart was fairly clean.
Yeah, and then that was their first time of like re-separating the grid under safety car 2, which worked out great. I knew that was a lot of work for the admins to manually do the wave rounds and stuff like that, but I mean, that all worked out well. Just the amount of respect from the GT3 drivers when the first incident happened at the fountain, just being able to just hold it, no accidents there, and just letting the LMP2s just resort themselves out. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I'm not rapping, guys. yeah, Garreth, get the beatbox going, and it'll go to nobody. I'm not rapping. I don't even know how to rap. What I will say is that there's not that many good rappers that are in the rap game at this moment in time. I'll say that at least. I think Joyner Lucas is pretty good. Joyner Lucas is really good. I like Joyner Lucas. J. Cole. That's about it. I mean, it's the only ones I've listened to.
No comment. I'm staying out of this.
Yeah, I also don't really like Kendrick. I think he's there's nothing really like interesting about I'm just like it's not like I don't know. There's no really hooks or bangers. He just has like those weird ensemble sounds. They're like, I don't like this. Rap for us. The donos come in. You know, I don't even get these. By the way, if you guys want to know who's got the purse here on the Twitch chat or the Twitch account, it's Noah. It's Noah Hoskinson. Noah Hoskinson. He's the one with the purse strings here.
He just paid you have to. No, we don't. That's not how that works. Sorry to say.
I don't have the account details for the money making here. It's $5. Is it? That's, you know who's that's going to? A guy who's in Italy right now.
I paid for. No, you're just gonna pay for some requested service that's just made up.
Yeah, we didn't ask. I'm not gonna. What am I supposed to rap here?
By the way, we do have less than 2.5 minutes now. The final race of this series.
Well, see, that doesn't make any sense. We've had no safety cars, and we're not going to get the full race distance here.
Well,
I think they need to change the lap count for these races, because it doesn't seem we've had safety cars for every race, but if we have 4 laps to go and you're saying we're at 2 minutes remaining, we're not going to go the full race distance with a safety car in hand. I'm not sure that sounds like a Portimao things. I think that this was not correctly added with the lap count to be what it should be for this to be what it was. I know that makes sense.
I don't know where the math's coming from.
Track was hotter.
Seems weird.
And it better be hot like Jason's rapping. Why is it showing laps remaining versus time? It's a timed race. Is it just a timed race and not a... But the time usually goes to the same amount of time. Well, because you could have a 45-minute race and know exactly how many laps are remaining of that 45-minute race. SDK, which... Oh, God. The SDK nerds were... Here we go. 3 LMP2s have categorically left this session. They are down 13 laps, 39 laps, 50 laps. And we have 2 GT3 class drivers down 32 laps for Matt Benson and 65 for the East Coast Storm Racers. Yes, and ad right at the end. Jason could rap. Jason rap the ad, so I need a rap from Jason now. You guys are just fucking... well, it's not supposed to swear, I don't think. I don't know.
Oh, I'm just laughing at myself now at this point.
I think the only thing we accomplish is that we're going to have a sandwich on a Saturday.
Yeah. Seems like a time well spent then.
Yeah, we're on the final lap here. But is it final? Is Ryan Otis of Cone Killer Racing? Is this it? Let's have. Oh my God, I'm not reading that at all. The fact that these get added to the actual YouTube and people can see you guys' comments.
They'll just be very confused.
No, I mean, they won't be confused. They'll hear the commentary and be like, hey, oh my God. Okay, now I know Trey has 3 accounts now. Jesus, man, I am not saying that. And they go side by side almost down the start straight, and Ryan Otis wins for Cone Killer Racing over 499 Racing and P2. And just behind is Prosciutto Punch Racing, who's still got a little bit ways to go here. And he's just passed. Drivers that have gone across the line is Chris Moulton of Great Underdog Racing in P6 for the LMP2 class. P7 is Inconsoles Racing of Craig Brick. V Ray, get out of my way, of Lars Tiehouse in P7 for the GT3 class. And Todd Swanson of 498 Racing and 499 Racing is from the 498 car is cross line in P4 for the GT3 class. Going across the line there is Landon Loy for P3, getting that for the LMP2s. Tyler Tier in the GT3 punters. God. Portimao's got curves, but the race was flat. Next time, give me rain or a little combat. There you go. There's your answer. Yeah, well, Tyler Tier, P4 in the LMP2 class. Overall is also that. Arcadian Motorsports Orion, Hammond in P5. After serving a qualifying ban, this team is up into 5th place for that group there. Drunken Skunk Racing of Blake Patterson finished at P8. Hyperion Racing is done. Derek Heiberger, P1 for them. P2 for Hyperion Racing 9. Luke Wallace, P3 for the Parks de la Cruz in the 212 car of 212 Racing. 499 Racing, Todd Swanson, and the 498 was in 4th. Jesse Canales and Barbecue Boys in 5th. Chris Chitterling of Little Lugnuts here. He's not doing anything in P6. Four Loco Racing of Ryan A. Phillips in 9th. While Hollow Motorsports, who's actually back out on track after he had that little incident. He's in 8th in the GT3 class, but 17th overall. The Dissidents, Tyler Anderson in P18, 10th in the 8th overall, and 10th in the LMP2 class. Hyperion Racing 6th of Greg Conway in 11th in the LMP2s and 19th overall. Jamie Jen in 9th in the GT3s, 20th overall. That said, I think Garreth, firstly, I just want to say thank you for joining me in the booth. It's been great having you as a co-commentator. If you're gonna join back with me, that's gonna be awesome. If not, I also understand these people causing all this malarkey on the last race has just been something else. But maybe some people are going to join us here for some commentating or for some post-race and whatnots. But we do know for certain who the championships are all about here, which is kind of awesome to see. Look at these guys. 49 the Hyperion Racing 4 getting involved in the 499 Racing's little they want to do their little photo op with 499 Racing and Cone Killer Racing and 499 Racing's 49 but everyone getting involved. The championship goes to 499 Racing, Cone Killer Racing in P2 for the LMP2 pros. Fantastic result for them. No post-race wrap, blah blah blah. No, there's no post race anything. Yeah. Yeah, no, my stuff is just dying. Was that an anime girl on the desktop? No, I don't have a.
That was water.
It's just water. I don't even have a file over him. Bradley Sexton wins this. We got a couple guys here. I was just gonna stop streaming there, and everybody in the chat, you can stay along. Thank you for joining us. And Derek Heiberger, Alex Caruso, thank you for joining us. You guys, we were talking about it all race, but I guess mid race and onward. Domination that we've never seen, not even in the GT3 Sprint Championship, but in this series for the first season. Congratulations on getting the championship title. It's got to feel amazing after everything you guys have done, race after race.
Yeah, it feels pretty great. It's just been a really fun season to race in the same car as Derek. I mean, we haven't gotten the opportunity to really share a car before this, so it was a learning experience just to see how that chemistry was going to work, and it worked out great. We both had good work ethic going into it, put in a lot of practice, put in a lot of time, and we were able to make that show on track as well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. I think next season we'll see maybe a little bit more of a shakeup because there's going to be a lot more LMP2 drivers that want to jump into the GT3 car and see where that takes them. With that said, I mean, you guys led pretty dominantly over the other Hyperion Racing team. At the end, I can't even say were you worried. You guys were like 11 seconds up. I really don't have any questions. You guys really just put on a clinic of what it is to be just professionally putting in the time and the practice to be as strong as you were. Like once the shakeup happened after, like, I'd say lap 9, you guys were out there and it wasn't really a battle. It was more like you guys were just, you had it all under control. It just really goes to show you guys practiced for this and you guys made it happen.
Yeah, we went into this round as kind of a challenge ourselves a little bit to see what we could do. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but we're not in the Acura today. We're in the Mercedes. So we wanted to switch up the car, see if we could get the same type of pace out of a car that's less popular. Acura's been the favorite all season across the service. Mercedes definitely has not been. And we wanted to show that, or rather see to ourselves, prove to ourselves, we could get pace out of pretty much anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely showed. I mean, strong result. I mean, fantastic result. This race was a little bit less populated, which is unfortunate. But you guys take a penalty, prove a point against people are still having fun in the chat. But hope you guys really enjoy this one. It was a great win for you guys, and I don't really have any other further questions besides just wanting to congratulate you. You guys did, without a doubt, take home the championship here for season 1 in the GT3 Pro Series. Great on you. I hope you guys come back. It was I kind of hope to see other people take the fight to you guys as well, just to see that shake up a little bit more. The competitive nature of what was going on was, out of the 18 teams that were in the GT3 totally, Gentleman's Cup and otherwise, there's only a couple that were really, really putting I don't say put you through the ringer, but we're making you sweat a little bit. And 212 Racing, Hyperion Racing 9, also another team. Those two were really close, but you guys, I mean, Parks de la Cruz, when he would get in that car, I mean, he'd get close and he'd make you guys work a little bit for it.
Yeah, I was actually nervous about Parks' pace today. He was a lot closer to the quali pace than he has been recently, so hats off to him. He showed up.
Absolutely.
You guys absolutely did a phenomenal job out there. And did you guys have any main strategies for the race today when you guys first started?
The main strategy was really just to win. We knew what our pace was looking like going into it. We figured it would be strong. Derek and I both love this track. So in terms of strategy, we We didn't really plan that one out probably as well as we should have because we didn't realize until about lap 5 of the race that we should probably start fuel saving. So that kind of worked out just because we realized it so soon. But yeah, probably could have spent a little bit more time on the strategy side of this one.
I mean, hey, it worked out for you guys, and you guys took home another victory. So congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And with that said, thank you for joining us. And, hope to see you guys again for the next one. And again, clinic. Absolute clinic.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it a lot. And thank you for putting on the broadcast. I know that's a ton of work, and it's got to be hard for races like this where it's 2 hours long and there's only 18 cars on the track. So thank you both very much. You made it a lot more entertaining for us and for all of Hyperion, everybody who's been watching us. So big shout out to Hyperion Racing and big shout out to Sim Gaming Expo as well. Thank you guys and thank everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for joining us. And we got Ryan Otis, Nick Ebby, Matthew Borthart, Colin Arnold, and Brad Sexton. Firstly, 2 separate teams here. I keep scrambling both teams because you guys have the same livery. So, sorry, if you could... I just need to find the team names. I just dropped them.
Cone Killer and 499 Racing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow, with you guys having the same livery, we still messed that up, and while we were just staring at your name for the entire race.
Oh, that's all good.
But it always
Yes.
throws us for a curveball. But no, awesome race, you guys. That was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, especially with you guys. I mean, you guys were just had a commanding lead with that race. I mean, with both teams. You guys had the pace. Was there any specific strategies that you guys were expecting? Were you guys expecting a safety car? Not. I mean, I personally was expecting a safety car. I was surprised that we didn't have one. What was your guys' kind of thoughts throughout the race?
Well, I was a little surprised we didn't have a safety car, and then when we didn't, my only strategy was to go as fast as humanly possible, and it seemed like that was the same strategy for Colin and Brad. So it actually ended up being a pretty great race. I think we were just killing the tires and killing the cars and going for it. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just to jump in, now that everything opened back up again. So Cone Killer Racing, you guys won this race. Fantastic win. You won it off the pit strategy on that last stop. Matthew, Matthew got out of the car, Ryan got back in, and then so Sam couldn't join you on this one, if I'm not mistaken, and then 499 Racings of Bradley Sexton got into the car with Colin Arnold doing the first 2 stints. My question being firstly is, but actually first, congratulations Cone Killer for winning this race. It was a very hard fought. You guys were really close in terms of 499 Racing. The actual 499 Racing team, I know you guys both using the same livery, but firstly, congratulations there, and secondly, when they overtook you into the that hairpin, I think that's like turn 6, maybe 7. Was that surprising? They got past you on pace after that first pit stop. It was a little bit, yeah, it was a little bit of the traffic, but was that kind of surprising that happened there?
It was not surprising to me because I am very slow on the outlap, so I was very much struggling to keep up. I was going to move over a little left there, but it was a little bit too little, too late, and he was already on my inside, and I was sort of just struggling to keep it on the track. So I kind of just let him go, and then tried to fight as hard as I could to hang on.
Yeah, I mean, you did keep getting very close, and there were moments where I thought maybe a battle was going to happen now, and you guys were getting about 6 tenths away, but ultimately it just came down to that pit stop strategy at the end, where Cone Killer just came out ahead. But with that said, 499 Racing, just quickly to you, Bradley, Colin, and Nick, great work overall. You guys were consistent throughout this series, which is what you want to be. You guys won the championship. It's the first season of this experimental series. That's got to feel kind of nice. You guys were so close. Cone Killer Racing might feel the feels of what is the drop week, because we do have institute a drop week, meaning your points were so ultimately close, but they 49er Racing had a really bad race, so their lowest result is actually not. It's better to have a low result than a high result, I should say. In that way, ultimately they're going to haul in the most points comparatively to what you guys were doing. So while you won this, Cone Killer Racing won this race, 499 just had to stay in, second or third even. And that's what they achieved here. But you guys were so close on track. At one point, I wasn't even bothering to look at you guys through the first stint. But through stint 2 and 3, you guys really showed you were actually like really good on pace to watch what was happening.
It was fun, and I think back on the championship thing, by our math, we actually tied. We're dead even. So I'll be curious to see how the admins sort that out, because we're
Must be a
both
count
at
back, right?
444 points.
Recount.
I mean, even after we go through the totals here,
Yeah, the point difference was 35 points, and with qualifying being calculated in, you do get points for qualifying, and we lost 5 points in qualifying, and the point difference between P1 and P2 is exactly 30 points. So puts us 144 or 1444 to 1444.
okay, well, I mean, maybe I'm just looking at this wrong, but you guys, so race 1, Cone Killer had 330. On race 4, 499 had 330. So we can ixnat that. We can kind of cut that one slightly. On race 1, 499 had 382. On race 2, you guys on Cone Killer had 374. And then on race 3, they had 382, 499, and Cone Killer had 355. Drop week on race 3 and 2 for 499 and Cone Killer on 3. There's a significant margin there that on this last race, if you get 380 or whatever the max is, and they get second, which would be, I think, 330, or no, 350 is the second place.
Yeah, unless the points are wrong on the spreadsheet, which I don't believe them to be, because I actually went and looked myself. Because both of us finished higher than whatever our current drop week is, right? It just comes down to what the current total is, factoring in the current drops, and that gap is 35 points.
Either way, great race, great championship.
That's fun.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
race.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, if you guys tie and we have a two-team championship win, that's going to be really interesting to see how is it go to who has the most P1s finish, or has most P1 finishes. I don't know. I don't think we've ever had. Yeah, maybe we just have you guys fight in real life, and just like. Oh no, a better example. We'll just have you guys all race up the mountain on iRacing, and then you just do rally cross times, and have you guys get behind a Subaru, and just whoever team has the best times there. And
we'll just do bonus points for the best livery, and we'll be okay.
I mean, same livery, which is great here. I mean, you guys confused us all season with that, but I was like, wait, which team is this again?
I felt bad about that. But in fairness, I actually am on 499, so I created a different team just because my teammates are not on 499. So
yeah, well, that being said, it is that has been made. Yeah, it's been noted many times throughout this, but also the winner does get a little hammied out thing from SimMotion. It's a gift card. So I don't know if how the whole series works out with that. I don't know if they've even explained it all, but all I wanted to say is, congratulations on the win here, Cone Killer Racing. It was a great win. if your guys' math is better than my brain math right now, and I'm looking at it like I've looked at the last couple of seasons, I've always kind of ignored the totals. I've always just looked at direct results from the races and just did it that calculation way. It seems like maybe it's going to go to the 499 team. Maybe if it doesn't and it's tied, I guess we'll just have to see what Eddie Layton posts in the overview or wherever he's going to post that, or in the results. Appreciate you guys both, or got all of you, for joining. I think if it's not a congratulations to 499 for the championship, if it's a tie and it's a congratulations to both you guys, I don't know how that's going to shake up, but it's been great watching you guys battle out on track. You guys had a lot of great competition beyond the two of you guys battling it out there. There's some teams that made some mistakes this go around that I think could have fought for that P2 spot. Speeding in the pits, just wrecking their opponents on accident. All sorts of things happen. Qualifying bans as they are. Yeah, thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys come back for season 2. I can't wait to see what happens in season 2. I hope the grid just gets better. Everyone understands each other's racing a little bit more. It always gets better in the GT3 Sprint Championship. With that said, thanks guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rewatch, because this one was very special. It wasn't really about the racing so much as what every driver who wasn't here that is part of this series decided to just troll the entire time. So if you guys,
yeah, well, that's what makes it fun and interesting.
Yeah,
right? You just got to roll with it, and we're still waiting for you to rap.
I'm
oh god,
to speak on behalf of the chat.
No,
we're still waiting, and we'll get that next season if it's not paid in full this season.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
But yeah, big thanks to you guys. Thank you
Yeah.
from the broadcasters, the viewers, the competitors, everybody. And thank you from 499. Thank you to our sponsors, Majors Garage and the Sim Racing Expo. Really appreciate their support, and Broken Wing for putting on such a great series. It's been a good series. It's been awesome to have a series that's team based and endurance based. It's really hard to find leagues that are not just 45 minutes, just sprint races, and that are just sprint, get in and go, where more strategy comes involved. So it's really awesome that they're able to put this together. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's been extremely competitive throughout the entire season. There was a lot of reasons why people couldn't make this last race, which made the grid shrink significantly. But getting over 40 teams with 2-man teams plus or 2 3-man teams, it was great to see that we had a good structure for the first 4 races, if not the last one being half the grid showed up for this one. All to say, thanks guys. Thank you for joining us. Garreth, any last words for both teams? Both teams being significantly strong here. Cone Killer Racing and 499 being very, very clean as well with you guys' driving. The ability to maneuver around each other. I know one of your drivers is part of the 499 group, but I also thought it was cool to see a dynamic where father-son were racing together with a friend. That was cool. I don't think we've had that before. We've had brothers, and we've had people that are not brothers but have the same last name, which is ultimately the weirdest thing I've ever heard of, but they're still here. Shout out to Pax Oceani. So it's cool, and I hope you get to see you guys again. And also change liveries for the next one. Maybe put the father-son in little Legos on the side, and then the friend.
We'll do something.
Yeah,
I'll do something. Maybe we'll just give them a different color or something.
There we go.
Yeah, we gotta do
That'd make it
something.
better.
Yeah.
Wing mirrors or something.
Yeah, anything. Well, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Garreth, any last words?
No, you summed up great. I mean, awesome job out there. I mean, it was fantastic to watch you guys, and especially with the commanding lead that you guys had, just absolutely phenomenal. So congrats, and excited to see you guys out on the next season.
Cool. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks
Yeah,
for
thank you.
doing the broadcast.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks. And thanks. After I moved them all, appreciate everybody in the comments. You guys really made this a little bit more special because you were trolling, and yeah, yeah, that was something. Appreciate that.
They were just making sure the entertainment was there, since the race wasn't giving us that much entertainment with no safety cars or nothing crazy going on. They had to bring it, and they did.
Yeah, and you know, with a slightly less competitive race, I get it. We're serious. Yeah, the guy who made 3 separate troll accounts, and one of them is I didn't even call it out because it was
No,
unique.
there's only one troll account. One of them's Trey. One of them's Tyler.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 19 blank blank. Yeah, I know what that is, and I'm not gonna say it. But hey, thanks for the follow. Every follow counts here at Broken Wing Racing League. My final comment. Thank you everybody for joining us. I really appreciate it. It's been a great first season. This has been way more lively than the GT3 Sprint chat championship chats. Garreth, appreciate you being my co-commentator here. It was great for having all of your insights, as well as being able to talk and, you know, be there when I had to use the not be here for some moments. But Garreth, your final thoughts here, and you can take us away.
Yeah, no, I mean, the season finale. I mean, not quite what I was expecting, that's for sure. I was expecting a little bit more chaos just from what we've been seeing with all of our other races, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, great way to finish it off. I mean, and it was kind of fun recapping some of the other races too, just because there was some big significant highlights out there. So that's always a blast. We do have our other series Sundays for GT3s. Tuesdays it'll get announced when the series will pick back up. Wednesdays is Xfinity. Thursdays is V's and Rays multi-class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a merch store. That's it. Link in the description below. And
yeah, in the About Me section. Yeah, and yeah, as it's great. Thank you everybody. Thank you, Garreth, and all your guys' comments. It's like, oh man. All right. Bye.